Let's podcast day 3 ACC kickoff in Uptown Charlotte alongside Joe Giglio. I'm Joe Ovies. We are not inside Eford Studios, but we'll be back on Monday. Yes, we are in Charlotte for another round of ACC kickoff interviews. We've got North Carolina Athletics Director Steve Newmark along with Jordan Shipp. We've got Manny Diaz in the house along with Nate Sheppard. Jake Dickert has got problems with you, Joe.
I enjoyed our time with Jake Dickert.
Gio Lopez
that was
well.
Fun. Manny Diaz actually left me speechless for one of the only times in my career.
You can believe it, but I believe him. I believe him.
I don't know.
I believe him.
I don't know.
Okay.
I still don't know, but
okay.
I was just like, you know what? That is your truth, and I'm clearly not going to talk you out of your truth. I tried. I presented, and it was rebutted. So
that's fine.
It's fine. Happens sometimes, but I think this Steve Newmark conversation is going to be a real treat for some. Other Carolina fans are just going to be like, that fucking Giglio, that's him, giggles. But I'm feeling very Carl Hess right now.
Okay, please explain. Before we, because we're going to just jump into the Steve Newmark interview to start the show today. So please explain your Carl Hess here.
One of my all-time favorite anecdotes is so Carl Hess has his great moment with Chris Corchiani, Tom Gugliotta. That's 2012. Okay. And I won't rehash all of that, but kicks them out of the building, essentially becomes a villain to NC State fans.
Yes.
For almost 3 years, he doesn't work another NC State game. So NC State plays Wofford at the beginning of the 2014-15 season. And it was the last game at Reynolds before they renovated Reynolds.
Yeah.
And before the game, John Clockerty, then the head of ACC officials, goes down, says to Carl Hess, let's just have a normal game. Just call the game. We'll be on our way.
Yeah.
Because this is silly. You should be working state games. I need you, and for certain times. So let's just make sure we have a nice, kind of easy paint by numbers day. 4 minutes into the game, Carl Hess gives Mark Gottfried, then the coach, a technical foul. And I remember Mark calling me after that game. I said, did you use any of the magic words? He goes, no. He goes, he said to me, I had that one teed up and you were going to get one. I said, well, he said, okay. After the game was over, John Clockerty, head of officials, goes to talk to Carl Hess at the downstairs officials room at Old Reynolds Coliseum. And secondhand, Clockerty says to Hess, Carl, why'd you do that? We talked before the game. Why did you tee him up 4 minutes into the game? I just am the way I am. Giglio, why are you an asshole? I just am the way that I am.
So what we'll do here is we'll run the Steve Newmark interview. It's about 25 minutes, covered a whole range of things from football to basketball, the future of college athletics, and North Carolina's position in the future of athletics. I thought it was a very good conversation. Steve thought it was a very good conversation, despite the fact that Steve's first official interview with us, at one moment, he gets the full Giglio. And what do I say, Joe? What do I say?
Not everyone can handle the full Giglio.
But I will say this. Steve can. And I think
he did.
I think this
Respect.
I think this will be the start of a fun new UNC AD OG media relationship. We had a great one with Bubba. We will continue to have a great one with Bubba.
Yes.
I feel that this was the right way to the champagne with the ship and to launch it. Ain't no other way to do it. If I had another bottle of bourbon on me, I'd just be like, bang, let's go. Joining us on the Heister Automotive Group microphone at ACC Kickoff is the new athletics director at North Carolina, who I saw last year at this time, but you didn't officially have the job yet. You were just kind of lay of the land, seeing how ACC Kickoff's going on. And from then to now, Steve, you've had quite the year at UNC.
It's been a fun year, but you're actually right. I think you guys may have been my first official interview, because I was still working down the street running the race team for the Fenway Sports Group, and I just came down here to check things out. We had announced, I think, a few weeks earlier that I was going to do the transition with Bubba, so I got to come sit down and hang out with you, and I think you were fairly easy on me last year.
We just chatted upstairs, and we didn't do an official interview. I did ask Bubba, though. I actually just texted Bubba. Did you give Steve like pointers on how to deal with us? Did he give you pointers? Did he tell you like, hey, look, there's these guys, these Joes, gotta be careful?
He told me to come in and tell you I had 3 minutes max.
Bubba knows better than that now. Bubba knows better than that.
He was great. He said that you guys are a lot of fun, and just kind of nothing's off the table with you guys, and that you guys just enjoy kind of talking sports, business, everything all around, and it's somewhat unstructured. And so he said, the one thing I need to be prepared for is, to avoid and to see how I can, adeptly kind of not answer some of your questions.
Perfect. He got very good at that at the end. When you came over from the race shop over here, and then the year since, what did you have an idea of, and then what have you actually learned in this year that maybe wasn't on your mind when you started this thing?
I think I was fortunate in that I had a foundation. Obviously, growing up in Chapel Hill, being immersed in that community, I understood what UNC athletics meant to not just UNC, but to Chapel Hill, to the fan base, to North Carolina, because that's what drew me, and that's been what's kind of the connective tissue with my family, friends, and just over decades. And I also had the privilege of growing up with access to the athletic department, close ties to the Bedore family, the Guthridge family, so understood some of the nuances of how the athletic department operated. That said, I was never immersed in the daily activities that we deal with. And, obviously I knew that with 28 teams, there's, over 300 events that we have on campus during the year. So, there's always something going on. But I think what I learned the most was there's a lot more that goes on in the athletic department around academics than most people see. And I know that's not the answer that most expect, because you read the headlines on ESPN and it's all about NIL and court cases and the evolution of collegiate athletics with economics and commercial enterprises. But still about 90% of what our roughly 290 employees in the athletics deal with is the normal day-to-day that you would expect when you guys went to college about how athletics work, which is trying to help high school students get into college, get acclimated, move in, come away from their parents, get their class schedules, get academic support, get mental health support, prepare for their next career in most situations. And that was something that I didn't realize how much focus and attention we put on that aspect of the collegiate experience.
So we're coming up on 30 years in this business for me, and one of my all-time favorite quotes is from a former Hurricanes goalie. His name is Arturs Urbe, and he's from Latvia. And he said, sometimes you have to throw the puppy in the ocean and see if it can swim. This was after a loss, right? Sir.
That doesn't seem the most humane thing to do, but we'll go with it.
Given you got basketball arena issues, basketball coaches issues, the entire landscape of college sports, you are the puppy, sir. You might be a Rhodesian Ridgeback, but you are the puppy thrown into the ocean. How has, drinking from the fire hydrant here, how have you been able to kind of plant your feet and try to understand all of the different things that you've had to face in your short time here?
It's a fair question, although I didn't have on my bingo card that you were going to call me a dog at the beginning of
That's fine, man.
or compare me to it. But
it's a good thing you got that dog in him.
I will take it. So, I think part of what you note is this. I mean, it has been a chaotic year, right? And I think we also understood that was coming just because of the changes in collegiate athletics, which is one of the reasons that Bubba and I structured the transition the way that we did. And I think I may have mentioned this to you last year. When I was contemplating whether to make the transition from pro sports and the Fenway Sports Group to UNC, which obviously is a dream for me to come home, one of the things I recognized is that it had been a while since I had been exposed to college sports. I had done work with Southeastern Conference, the NCAA, Conference USA, but that had been 20-some years ago. And so if you're looking at what's in the best interest of the University of North Carolina, it was to do something that's very non-traditional, which is have a transition plan where there's an overlap for 11, 12 months. And I think working with Bubba over that period kind of allowed us to be able to tackle a lot of these issues. I mean, it was interesting. Bubba and I have laughed because we thought that I was going to have a lot of time this year to absorb some more of the academic side of things, because obviously that's not a component of pro sports. But what it turned out to be is that there was enough work for 2 ADs, and so we would just divide and conquer. We'd get together in the morning and say, okay, you handle this crisis over here and I'll handle this crisis, and we'll circle back at 9 o'clock tonight and compare notes. And so I think that was extremely helpful. The other thing that I don't think I fully appreciated, and I'm sure that maybe some of your listeners don't appreciate, is it is critically important to have alignment up and down the university ladder if you're going to be able to handle a lot of these challenges. And what was fascinating to me is when we were doing the coaches search for basketball, one of the things that appealed to some of the coaches that we spoke to is they said, we understand that UNC, from the board of trustees to the South building to the president, their group, to the athletic department, are all aligned in their vision and where they're headed. And what they commented to us is that they struggled with that at their university, that there was a disconnect between the president and the AD, or there was not a singular vision about how you tackle these challenges. And so despite the fact that we have some monumental tasks in front of us to deal with, being able to have that alignment and being able to have that support and the ability to kind of talk up and down the ladder, I think has been really helpful in helping us navigate these challenges.
One of those tasks is the investment that UNC made in football last year. So obviously it didn't go the way anybody wanted it to go. Where are you on Bill Belichick and what you expect from this year, what you expect from him? Will there be significant changes to how he handles this process? Because quite frankly, he wasn't very engaged. For a guy who's won the Super Bowl 6 times, let's be honest. I'm just giving you plain language.
Yep.
He got wiped up and down by everybody in this state. And he just didn't even seem to care, which
I think I'd
you're paying him way too much for that.
I'd push back on a little bit, because I think there's probably depends on your definition of engagement, right? When I observed, and I think other people observed, how he ran the football program, I mean, he was 24/7 maniacally focused on everything football. He does not, and we knew this was his kind of MO, he doesn't engage externally as much as you see some other college coaches do. There's no doubt. But when we step back, I think to get your first question is, where is UNC, and what's the vision and view for football? And the reality of it is in today's world, you have to be relevant and competitive in college football if you want to have a sustainable athletic department. And so if you were looking at it through a business lens, we have 28 sports, which is way more than most schools, by top 5 in the country. We have over 750 student athletes. 25 of those 28 sports made the NCAA postseason. We were 4th in the Learfield Cup, which is the 7th year in a row we've been in the top 10. So we take a lot of pride in having broad-based programs, almost all of whom compete for national championships, field hockey Final Four, women's lacrosse Final Four, baseball finals. To do that, you have to sustain yourself with at least some revenue support to be able to be competitive and elite. And the reality of it is, in today's world, football is the economic driver of collegiate athletics. And so, I think there was an intentional decision that, we needed to continue to try to lean into football to make sure that we have an experience for our fans, that they get excited and energized about our program. All of that said, we knew that when we were bringing in Coach Belichick and a new staff, that it was going to be a process. One thing that is on very short supply in college sports is patience, right? Everybody wants immediate gratification. And
Indiana did not help.
They're an aberration. It's never been done in 100
I'm just saying, they did not help.
Yeah.
They did not help.
And listen, I think everybody would love to have that happen. I think they struck lightning in a bottle. What we have said is we need to build a foundation for the future. And that's why we brought Coach Belichick in. And he's talked about building a foundation so we have a sustainable, competitive program. which doesn't always mesh with we want to see what the wins and losses are right now. Now, wins and losses are important. Ultimately, that's going to be the barometer on which you're measured.
Yeah.
But for us, we are looking at this as a multi-year process to get us to a position where we are, can be proud and excited about the direction of the football program. You have to recognize, we went from one Hall of Fame coach to another. But those Hall of Fame coaches have very different styles.
Yep.
They run different offenses, different defenses, and have different personnel that they need to fit. And so bringing in Coach Belichick and his staff, we knew that it was going to take some time. Now, we all had hopes that we were going to have, better success on the field last year. He would say that, his coaches would say that. You can't shy away from that. But it isn't something that you make a knee-jerk reaction after one game. Now, I'm a fan like you guys are. You take a loss and you wallow in self-pity that night because you're frustrated with the loss and if we had done this differently. But we're looking at it over the longer term, which is, I think, how, the strategy that Coach Belichick has taken. He could have said after last year when he was open about, I learned a lot of things about college sports. It's obviously different than pros, although some of the fundamentals are the same. But he talked a lot about I now understand how to build for the future better. Mm-hmm. He could have just put all of his eggs in the transfer portal basket and really tried to, that's if you're going to try to get an immediate impact, you go in the transfer portal. And we did dabble in the portal, but for the most part, he said, we're going to make an intentional decision to build from the bottom, and we're going to bring in 40 freshmen. I mean, that's basically 2 classes more freshmen than we've ever had, and that's going to take time for us to see the results.
But football's different now, as you know. You got to retain all those 40 guys, right? But that's over the course of a long time. I think what I'm interested in, you brought up the word alignment. And I get the aspect of alignment from the chancellor on down. But externally, and again, to borrow a phrase from Joe, I'll use plain language here, I don't think there's alignment with the university and fans. Does that make sense? Because I've seen this now with basketball and everybody having an opinion on what the direction and the future, because people take that very seriously, from who should be the coach to where you should be playing.
Breaking news there to you. They take basketball seriously.
I don't know if you knew this or not. Guy who grew up around Chapel Hill, you know this. And then with football, as you know, it's fleeting. I've been here since 1995, and I've seen it from, 97 with Florida State and all that kind of stuff. It can be very fleeting, and fans will be not in alignment with what you see and all the things that you just laid out. So how do you balance convincing a very stubborn and very proud Carolina alumni about some of these changes that are necessary in order to maintain those traditions?
Yeah, I think it's a fair question, although I would respond at first with, is there any fan base out there that is completely aligned? I think fan bases are so passionate. Mm-hmm. And by the way, that's a great thing because that's why we exist. I mean, if we had people who were indifferent about how we operate.
Let me rephrase it then. Boosters, the people with money.
Yeah,
they have opinions.
There's no doubt, and college sports is fundamentally different than the professional landscape in that the boosters and the donors have a great impact on sustaining athletic programs, and so there's no doubt there. I think at the end of the day, you have to keep the North Star that we need to have show continuous improvement on the football field. And that's going to be the benchmark. I'm always shy to use metrics, just numbers as your benchmark and guideline for a determining factor or setting metrics, because all of us know that your record next year may depend on injuries. It could depend on the schedule.
It's all sorts of factors,
on other things. I mean, let's be blunt. Our schedule this coming year, a lot tougher than what our schedule was last year.
You're right.
But it is imperative that we show continuous improvement. Offense, defense, special teams, and I think that's the barometer through which we look at it, because we've got to be good stewards of this program, and we've got to resist the urge to make rash judgments after one game or one incident.
Is that what you define as success for this season, without putting a win total on it? Because
yes, I think that's a term, and listen, I recognize if you're listening to this, the term continuous improvement sounds a little
nebulous. Sure,
and so I don't want to shy away from that. But that is the lens. Like I think we can all look at games last year where. If you talk to Coach Belichick, he was frustrated because we weren't competitive or we made too many mistakes on offense or defense. There were also games that we actually had flashes of brilliance and then, may have dropped the ball crossing the end at the end line at the end.
Yeah.
And that, there were 2 games that it would have changed the
Sure.
record. That said, we've got to be showing that, we're getting better, we're getting faster, stronger, more fundamentally sound. And I think we feel really good about what we've seen in the spring. And Coach Belichick's talked about this, not as an excuse, but last year when he came in, there was a massive turnover. We only had a few, we couldn't even hold full practices, and most of our players didn't arrive until the summer.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think this will be a great test because we got 31 of those 40 new freshmen started in January. And so he's had them on the field. So Coach Petrino's been able to be working with the quarterbacks. And so this will give us, I think, a better visibility into where the program is and whether we're making progress because we've now had that runway to do it.
Yeah, and to be fair, and I'm not grandstanding here, it's just me and you, right?
Yeah.
You're right. He was engaged with his team and his game prep and all that other stuff. But unfortunately for him, this isn't the NFL. This isn't the Patriots, a privately owned team. He is literally the highest paid employee in the state of North Carolina. He doesn't owe anything to me. He doesn't owe anything to the media. But he does owe your fans and the people who pay his contract. He owes them more than the performance that he put on after the NC State game in that press conference. That was flat out embarrassing for the highest paid employee in the state of North Carolina. That's what I mean by engaged. Like, there's got to be some more there, accountability on his, and as his boss, that's why I'm saying it to you. He doesn't have to be out here on McAfee every day or anywhere else, but he does owe it to be a little bit more explanatory than he's been.
And listen, I think, when we sit down and look at it in lenses, the primary obligation is for him to run the football program, to generate results on the football field, and to kind of energize our fan base so we can have these amazing weekends at Kenan. But there's no doubt that he's an ambassador of the university, and we'll continue to have dialogue and continue working. I have faith that Coach Belichick's media persona is not always the same as his persona behind, when he is interacting with people behind when there's not a microphone.
Let's flip it to Michael Malone. Completely different end of the spectrum. I mean, I remember him sitting in with Jones Angel and Adam Lucas when his daughter's playing volleyball. He's decked out. He's got the hat. He's got the polo. He's loving on campus and things like that. I love the hire. I think it's a great modernization of what you're trying to do with Carolina. So how have you kind of viewed, since the hire, where we are today and how he has transitioned from a pro game to basketball and all of the nuance that goes on with that?
Yeah, I think we've been really excited about having Coach Malone come aboard. Obviously, there's some similarities, right? We're taking a championship professional coach and bringing him into the college space. Malone had experience in the college space, but it was 25 years ago.
Completely different game.
And he will tell you that.
Yeah.
And I think, quite frankly, when we first broached this subject with him, one of his hesitations was, do I have enough insight into understanding the college game because he had been immersed in the NBA? I think what we have seen is he is relentless and he is tireless. I told him this the other day. My biggest concern after watching his first is that he's going to burn himself out. He's been in Istanbul. He's been in Mexico. He's been in Spain. I think he's been in France.
Yeah.
He goes nonstop. And he is 24/7. And he is a basketball junkie. He's a basketball encyclopedia.
Yeah.
He loves it. He's embraced the recruiting. He's embraced the engagement with the donors. And so, we're excited. All of that said, we did a similar thing. As you guys know, we announced him on the day the transfer portal opened.
Yeah.
So he literally walked off the floor of the Smith Center after doing his welcome speech and went into a war room with a board that had, 200 names on it, some of whom he may have known, some of whom he may not have, and had to construct a roster. So we're actually pretty excited about what the roster looks like. Now, hope springs eternal.
Basketball and football are completely different.
Correct.
In terms of where you can see immediate success and things like that. So that's what I was curious about in terms of now that he's settled in and the game is more international, the game is not what it was 25 years ago. Are Carolina fans, and again, you grew up with this, are they ready for something a little bit different? As long as it brings winning and an understanding of what Carolina basketball is.
At the end of the day, our fans want to see results, want us to be competitive and be, competing, particularly in basketball, for a national championship, and they want to see the program represent the university in the right way. And so, when we were looking at the criteria for a coach, we wanted someone who was a teacher, a mentor, and a leader, and then someone who understood and appreciated the history and tradition of Carolina. but also had the confidence to put their own stamp on the program. And I do think UNC fans are open to that and have been very welcoming to Coach Malone. And I was with him the other night in front of 50 of our supporters, and a lot of the comments that it was some of their first time having interaction with him, and a lot of the comments that I got were, he reminds me of Coach Smith or Coach Guthridge or Coach Williams, and we didn't hire someone to be a clone. He needs to put his own stamp. Even those three were very different, but even when you listen to him talk about, he builds on defense and then uses defense to start a fast break. He doesn't want to walk the ball up the court. I mean, some of that.
You're speaking the language right there.
And so you saw people get excited. But I do think that when he is looking at what he's building, you hear him talk a lot about making sure he is helping these players achieve their goal.
Yeah.
And that reminds me a lot when I was growing up of listening to Dean Smith that he put the player first, trying to make sure he was doing what's in their best interest. And so, even when Coach Malone is talking about how he's going to work with the current players, he knows that, okay, this player, if they're going to make it to the next level, which is their goal, this is an area that they need to improve on. And so we're going to help them focus on that, even if it might be redundant with some other capabilities that we already have on the roster.
I have one more thing. I don't know if Joe's got something else. My last question is related to you have to handle your house. Obviously, you've got these things in place now, but you also have to worry about the big picture with UNC and where things are going. I always kind of look at 2030 as this impending date, this impending this deadline where a lot of things are going to be different here in a couple of years. So what is the dynamic with you and Bubba now, who's still in the university, still working around certain things, about best positioning Carolina for whatever is next? Because I don't know what it is. I don't think the conferences truly know what it is. The television networks are keeping tabs on it. There's a lot of unknown here. So how do you go about the business of best positioning UNC for whatever it is?
Sure. I think, it's the right question because it's a very tumultuous time, and it's uncertain, and it's very different. I spent a lot of time with Dick Bedore, who I grew up with the Bedore family, and Dickie obviously was a longtime AD, and he laughs. He's like, what we dealt with was fundamentally different. Doesn't mean they didn't have challenges.
Yeah.
And so the way we try to break it down is you have to have a short-term plan and a long-term plan. And the short-term plan is navigating NIL. It is ensuring that we can maintain 28 programs at an elite level.
Yeah.
That's the ultimate goal. We want to have a broad-based platform. That's part of our DNA. You guys are aware Olympic sports, women's sports are really core to who we are.
I was going to say, if you're close with Dick Bedore, we know that very, very well.
Right.
Very important to him.
Right. But then the next step is you can't stick your head in the sand. You've got to start planning for the long term, which means 50 different permutations, because it's not like, hey, one of two things is going to happen and we got to plan for both of those. There's federal legislation going through right now. What happens there? Does that one go? Does something else go? What happens with the antitrust? What happens with collective bargaining? What happens with CSC? So all of these are big factors. There is no doubt right now that we are in a rational arms race in collegiate athletics. I mean, the cost of having competitive sports teams is going through the roof. And that's something that...
Did you say rational or irrational?
Irrational.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's ridiculous.
If I said rational, then I should go back to the race team and go do that again.
Although, I mean, they got decals on everything. I mean, that's kind of where I feel like we're headed.
That is true. I get a lot of grief for that. We're not going to go all the way that direction. We might put your radio show logo on our jerseys if you're okay with that.
I mean, look, we're a 2-person LLC. I don't know what our advertising budget is, but we can talk. We can talk.
But the system right now is not sustainable for the long term. And
Thank you.
Some people may say it's broken, say it's tortured, whatever label you want to put
you're
on
right.
it. But
you're absolutely right.
It can't continue this way for long term. So we have to figure out collectively a way to deal with it. College sports are too important for American society, culture, a lot of our academic institutions. But the way we're headed right now is we're not going down a good path. And so I think a lot of, even when you get back to Bubba, we talk about we've got to lean in to make sure that we're trying to be a leader at the conference level, at the national level, to try to find a solution while we're still also tending to our house and doing right by our student athletes.
The only thing I was going to tell you, I have one free idea for you for your social media.
I have to pay for the other ones?
The other ones
No. Bubba will tell you that Joe's got all sorts of ideas.
I got all kinds of
He's
ideas.
got all sorts of ideas.
No, the one thing I know you can't just get Michael on demand, but I desperately need MJ and Michael Malone talking about the Jordan rules, because his dad was the one who came up with the Jordan rules. Like, I I'm ready for that. That was like the only thing we didn't have in the Last Dance. But like, his dad is literally the one who came up with the Jordan rules. Like, I have to see that shit.
I'm going to give you a lot of credit because there's not a lot of reporters who actually dug that deep and remembered that and knew that. When we went out, when Eric Hoots and I went out to Denver to sit on Easter for 5 hours with Jocelyn and Coach Malone, we talked about a lot of things, including the fact that his dad was the one who constructed the Jordan rules and how was that going to play. And I think I told him, don't worry, most of the fan base doesn't know that. But now you've blown the cover.
No, man.
But you got your respect.
But you also, you show respect by no respect. The famous Jordan line.
Yeah.
You got yourself a coachy coach, man. I think you're gonna. I think fans are really gonna enjoy the way you guys play.
I think MJ and Coach Malone have talked. I think they have a similar outlook on a lot of things. We will make sure not to bring Bill Lambier or any of those guys down to a game.
Look, look, we don't need to do it. This has Carolina Insider Pod all over.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Man. Like, it's there for you guys.
It's there for you. And you know Adam Lucas will eat that up. Okay. So that's a Carolina Insider.
I don't know. He may be at an Eric Church concert then.
He's gallivanting around.
He's big time.
But I mean, you're talking about revenue streams. Hey, look, if The Last Dance was a big deal for ESPN during the pandemic, I'm just saying the Jordan rules idea, like Malone and Jordan sitting down, that's got sponsorships. Let's go.
All right. Well, hey, listen. You know that I'm open to turn over every rock, and we're going to try to generate revenue to support these programs however we can. So I'll put that. If we ever do it, I'll make sure you get proper attribution.
Cool. Perfect. Cool. Steve Newmark, Athletics Director, North Carolina. Thanks for putting up with us here at ACC Kickoff. We'll talk to you later.
Appreciate it, guys.
Again, we appreciate Steve Newmark's time hanging out with us here at ACC Kickoff. Again, a whole bunch of different things. I'll say this in relation to the back and forth about Belichick specifically, because I don't disagree with the overall sentiment. And I've actually been floating this out there on social media and talking to a lot of people, both within the ACC, other media folks, and other schools as well. Last year, I understood why kickoff went the way that it did. It was a circus, and you had to make it work the best way you could, knowing that we had never seen anything like that at an ACC kickoff before. Okay, so I understood why they did it the way they did it. I got into arguments with other media people on Radio Row, like, how could he not be on Radio Row? It's ridiculous. And I was like, yeah, guys, I never expected it to happen, and I understand why it didn't happen. But that was last year, followed with, I think we can objectively say, a very disappointing debut season for Bill Belichick at UNC. I expected this year to be, going back to your Carl Hess story, can we just have a normal one?
Yeah.
It has not been a normal one. It hasn't. And I don't understand why it hasn't been a normal one. And the only thing I'm left with is that there's a Belichick bubble that doesn't operate on normal time or normal ways. And then everything else runs normally. But it reflects poorly on the university when it doesn't run normally. And all I was asking this year from this event, specifically to Bill Belichick, is, can we just be normal? Unfortunately, it hasn't been normal. And that the one you can sell me on all the other talking points that come out of UNC from ACC Kickoff, okay, about foundational pieces, player-run practices, all the things that you've heard a bunch from ACC Kickoff. But it still doesn't seem normal. Dabo is making extra time to meet the media requirements. I get, you can get responses from James Franklin's people saying, hey, love you, mean it, appreciate you reaching out, but he's slammed, maybe circle back. Like actual communication. There still seems to be that lack of communication as it relates specifically to Belichick. And that gives me pause of not having what you could just have a normal football season. As much as, with all this being said, we're going to hope to have normal football conversations around North Carolina going forward. So I was just kind of like wanted to lay it out here because, like, look, part of the reason why y'all listen to us, part of the reason why we come to ACC Kickoff is to give you a general sense of what's going on. Yes, we have our interviews and we have great conversations, but it's also part of our job to tell you, hey, these are what's going on behind the scenes. These are the things that people are talking about. This is the buzz, right? Why else would we come here? We want to get the buzz. And that would be my overall kind of thoughts of how today has gone specifically for Bill Belichick. Everybody else is operating under normal fashion. Bill isn't. And I don't know why it isn't this season. Understood last year. I don't understand this year.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I asked Steve the questions that I did.
No, I know.
That's it. He's his boss. And if he can't hold him accountable, then I'm not sure who will. Do you see what I'm getting at?
Oh, I know what you're getting at.
So, and again, you might think, oh, you know, you're this, you're that, you're the other, whatever your opinion of me is. I'm always going to tell you my opinion. I'm not going to say one thing as I told Manny Diaz. I'm not going to say one thing on this program and then another to your face. That's not who I am. Yeah, it's just not who I am.
For a little bit of a foreshadow, like a little bit of preview, I was a little surprised that you're like telling me, like, no, now you know I don't like Duke. I was like, what do we? But hey, it's fun. It's fun. But we had a normal conversation with Manny. Great conversation with Manny.
While he broke my brain.
Anyway, and by the way, before anybody, I want to head one thing off because I can already tell it. Maybe somebody's going to call the sports phone or leave a comment on YouTube or whatever it is. This isn't about us.
No, I say that in the interview.
I don't care if we talk to Bill or not. Frankly, I don't know what we get out of Bill, really, unless we. Again, I don't know what we get out of it that hasn't been said or before. This is not about us. This is not about the show. This is just about more so for Carolina, like actual Carolina fans who do care about football, who I'm sure also think, can we just be normal? And I think that's a real sentiment that is out there for year two.
And Carolina fans who pay his salary and support the program, they deserve an explanation. Not me, not the media. The people who support that school, they're the ones. And if they want to go on a barnstorming tour and invite people over to Bill's office and let them do it, fine, do it. He's the highest paid employee in the state of North Carolina by a wide fucking margin. And in that position, everyone else deserves more than what they're getting from Bill Belichick.
Housekeeping is brought to you by Enovana. You can check them out online at enovana.com.
If you have mess inside your mansion or trash in your cabana, get it clean with Enovana.
World Cup final Sunday, 3 o'clock. We're going to be hanging out at our friends with Empire Eats, City Gravy Courtyard area. Full menu, full bar, TVs. It's going to be a good time. We are hanging out. And if it's too hot on Sunday, don't worry. While it's in the courtyard, bring a fan or something like that. There is an inside portion too, air conditioned, which is money.
Yes.
Okay, that's very, very important. So come hang out with us Sunday, 3 o'clock, City Gravy Courtyard there in downtown Raleigh. Just a stone's throw from Eford Studios. Big thanks to our friends at Two Roosters. You can check them out online at tworoosters.com. Our flavor is there. And you know, it's funny. So get the salty peanut butter fudge, the OG peanut butter cup. I have been asked a few times already, bouncing around ACC Kickoff, what, no shtick this year? And I guess we have developed a reputation of having a shtick. Now, like I said, we did one with Dave, and whatnot. But now thinking of Two Roosters, remember there was a time where we brought Two Roosters to Radio Row. People really appreciated that.
They did.
You know, that's us. We fumbled that. We probably should have brought some OG peanut butter cup for our media brethren.
I would not have gotten here.
as you like to say when you show up to Eddie Radio Row, you're like, these are my people now.
These are my peers.
These are my peers.
Congratulations to Jared. 11 years. 11 years for Two Roosters. So
awesome.
Congrats.
Awesome. Hopefully we last 11 years. We
No
will.
chance.
We
No
will.
chance.
We will. Well, you might physically not make it 11 years.
Correct.
I'll just have James elevate.
There you go.
The succession plan, right? Just do the succession plan. No, look, Jared's gotten to 11 years. Hopefully we can get that to 11 years. And a big reason why we could, is because of the support from Two Roosters and Jared and the crew. So big thanks to them. Check them out online at tworoosters.com. What are you laughing at? You good?
ESPN, right? is doing win totals.
Oh, are they? Yeah. Amazing.
I'm just not built for that life, Joe. Huffy face emoji. I'm just not built for it.
Hometown Realty. Check them out. myhtr.com. If you want to move out to the Charlotte area, it hit me, actually. It hit me yesterday. We went and got pizza yesterday in the Plaza Midwood area. And it dawned on me what it is about Charlotte that doesn't quite connect with me sometimes. And I feel like there are areas of Charlotte and the restaurants are so millennial coded, right? Like we talk about shticks, right? Not everything has to have a shtick. Not everything requires, like a Mexican restaurant does not require a big neon sign that says "Me gusta tequila" that you can do like a social media post on. You see what I'm getting at?
I do.
Okay, so now again, not everywhere in Charlotte is like that. As we've mentioned, there have been some places that are old Charlotte that we do appreciate, a little character, lived in feel, right? But now, like they got like the fake green wall, all that kind of stuff with a little neon sign. There's a little too much of that makes me not connect with Charlotte. I've also mentioned this too, speaking of Charlotte, because I just was on with our friends Walker Mail, which, by the way, I did not know that you had a walk-off with Walker yesterday on WFNZ. When you hit him with "I was right about LaMelo."
Oh, yeah.
And apparently that set off the text line.
Yeah, good.
That set off the text line, apparently. So I walked off by saying, is it wrong of me to call Bryce Young the Honda Civic hatchback of NFL quarterbacks? And, of course, Flouder's like, not for what you paid. I'm like, hey, man, market forces. Tariffs be tariffing sometimes, okay? Market forces, man. Sometimes that's what you can get.
Yeah.
All right. No, but look, I love Charlotte, but I was right. As I'm walking away from Walker, hey, man, appreciate you having me on. Yada, yada. I appreciate you. I'm like, so when we get you to Raleigh? And he goes, and I go, see, there's the family that never wants to come visit. So proven point. But no, all jokes aside, I do enjoy coming out to Charlotte. There's great spots that I always like to hit when we're out here. And who knows, maybe I'll get a rental property. I'll hit up Hometown Realty to do that.
Yeah, our guys can take care of you.
You slept okay last night?
Much better.
Good.
I had a much better experience last night.
Good. I'm glad. Big thanks to our friends at Whitaker and Hamer. You can check them out online at wh.lawyer. Again, that's wh.lawyer, attorneys and counsels at law. The moment has arrived when I hit publish on this podcast and wrap up all the podcast equipment. You and I go our separate ways. Can you make it back to Raleigh without a traffic violation?
2 years ago, I got one on 421 before the Ashboro. What's the Bojangles there?
Dude, I don't know.
Not Ashboro, but
Efland?
Siler City.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, man, of all the places that happens to you, you hit up our friends at Whitaker and Hamer, wh.lawyer.
Joining us at ACC Kickoff from North Carolina, wide receiver Jordan Shipp is hanging out with us on the Heister Automotive Group microphone. That bow tie is sharp, my man.
Appreciate you guys. Appreciate it.
How about the suit? Well, the suit's good, but I don't see a lot of bow ties at this event.
Not a lot of bow ties.
Not a lot of bow ties, number one. Number two, we've known Justin for a long time.
Yeah, great guy.
Incredible guy.
Yeah.
He's always rocked a bow tie.
Always.
Did he give you pointers? What happened here?
He helped me put it on.
Look at that. I love it. I love it. That is, I love that. That sounds so Justin, man. So Justin. All right, so look, let's get the obvious out of the way. I know you've been getting this question a lot today. It's the obvious question. Year one with Bill Belichick versus year two with Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
And the difference is going into this offseason, into the spring, and then now getting ready for the start and going to Ireland, man. Again, another all eyes on you type situation in week 0.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of the first season versus second season, there's not a big difference that we're doing. Of course, we're working hard every day. Coach is pushing us and everything like that. But I would say the biggest difference is the culture and the standard that the players have set in place. We've all, as some of the leaders and probably the future captains of this team, a lot of us have met together and just been we need to change certain things. As a team as a whole, instead of having the coaches so involved in everything, we need to set our own culture and our own standard that, of course, is overseen by the coaches, but we're holding it accountable. We're holding everybody accountable. We're pushing each other. We're telling each other, this is how it's going to go. This is how this needs to go. If you're missing, we're going to handle all the punishments and everything like that, and just building that team camaraderie overall and just being able to, take coaching from somebody that's not your coach. If you're doing something wrong and the older guy points you out, that don't mean start bickering back and forth and start crying. Fix it right then and there. Just fix it. Obviously, we're telling you for a reason. Let's just fix it. And that's even if a younger guy says something to an older guy.
Yeah.
Age doesn't matter. If you're doing something wrong, you're going to get held out. You're going to get called out. And you're going to get, put in check. You need to fix it.
Some of that player ownership, look, you get triangle dynamics, man. You get it. Everybody keeps tabs on everybody, and you're a competitor at the end of the day. So, with the way the season ends, right, you have a Wake Forest, you have Duke, and then obviously the NC State game.
Yeah.
You got that fire.
Yeah.
How do you get that across to new guys, whether it's portal additions or a lot of the freshmen that are coming in? Like, look, we went through this. We're not doing this again. You got to help us out. How's that work?
It's definitely a process. It's definitely something new because, I mean, it means a lot to me for being from the area.
Yeah.
I know what it's like to want to win your state. Like, it means when you think of when somebody in California says North Carolina, everybody thinks of UNC. And then we need to have that chip on our shoulders, and I feel like that's what we need to get across to everybody, how important it is to win your state. Like, we need to win our state. If we can win our state, that's going to put us in good chances to win the ACC. That's going to put us in good chances to be in those bigger games. And because, I mean, a lot of the teams in the state have great programs. Wake Forest has a great program. Duke has a great program. State has a great program. You know, just being able to compete and just making sure that we understand the, like, level of intensity that goes into those games is very important.
Yeah, like you said, this is your backyard, man.
Yeah.
You know.
It's home. 20 minutes away.
You know. You've been hearing it forever, right?
Yeah,
Even right down to your recruitment.
Yeah, the whole time. It's just you hear it, and you know, even when we played UNCC, like, that's still like a game in state that you want to win, you know? Like, it's still an in-state. You never want to lose to nobody in-state.
Yeah.
What's it been like learning Bobby Petrino's offense?
It's been cool. I mean, it's just it's a new offense. It's my third offense I've had to learn, but I mean, it's cool to be able to learn all different types of offenses because all the offenses have been different in different types of ways. Everybody has ran their offense differently. There's been different things that have made it special, different things that have been pointed out. And I mean, just want to go and score points. Whatever coach has to do, whatever he has us do to score, I could care less. Let's just go win games.
You have a couple different options at quarterback, a couple different guys. Good thing to have a little bit of competition there?
Yeah, I feel like it's always good to have competition. I mean, the fact that you have 4 guys that could be your starting quarterback is like, why wouldn't you want that? Everybody has to bring their best every day. You can't get complacent or anything like that. You have to work each and every day in and out. And it's no matter what's going on. One bad day, that could be you not taking the first string reps the next practice. You know, like, you can't afford that. Just like in the game, you can't afford bad plays. Like, a bunch of my bads turns into 4 and 8. We're not having that again.
I don't have to explain anything about last year to you. You lived through it, right?
Yeah.
But we were saying to Melkart, there were teams like TCU last year who maybe took a little zeal in the second half of that game, running it up on you a little bit. Do you have like a Caleb Wilson-like list of names somewhere on the phone or list of opponents on the phone that would be like, you know, we kind of owe you one?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a list. Shout out Caleb. That's
yeah,
my dog. Caleb's killing it.
He is.
Killing it up there. He's killing it.
He is the story of summer league.
Yeah,
man.
he's killing it. Seth Trimble was killing it up there. He just had like 24 points, I think, last night or the night before. Henry Vasar is up there killing it, man. It's good to see all those guys. RJ, it's good to see all those guys, former Heels, that are up there killing it. So shout out to all of them. But I mean, in terms of having a list, I mean, of course, you know, there's some personal motive behind stuff. But I mean, I try and stay away from that. Try and make it team focused first. Like, you know, there's some games, of course, I have circled on my list that was like, maybe I wasn't good enough in high school. You know, there's like small stuff like that that's like more motivating. You get to play those schools that didn't give you an opportunity. So I mean, stuff like that. And of course, like you said, some of those teams that ran it up, you just look at it, it's like, yeah, like we owe you something for sure.
Did you? Obviously, that first game was one where you probably realized pretty quickly there was a target on your back.
Yeah.
Because of your coach.
Yeah.
And because other coaches were like, well, this is my chance to beat a guy who's won the Super Bowl 6 times. I mean, it just felt like every week. Like,
yeah, and I mean, that's something, for me, that's something I don't take lightly because regardless of what the media says about Coach Belichick, he's a great guy. And Coach Belichick is somebody that really, really has poured into me as a player and just as a man, just growing up into an adult and stuff like that. He's really poured a lot into me, and he's turned to kind of like a father figure for me. So I mean, that's something I'm not taking lightly at all. I feel like you can't attack somebody that I love like that and not expect something to come back. So I mean, there's definitely personal motive behind that for sure.
So you talk about, you know, it's funny, we're sitting here talking about Caleb Wilson, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's got a different journey to get to the pros.
Yeah.
And that's the goal, right? That's why you do this. This is why you're putting all that sweat equity into this thing. And being able to work with somebody like Belichick, who's seen it all, man, seen it all. What kind of side conversations do you have with him about what you're doing now and what you need to do to get to that NFL level?
Yeah. Everything has just been being consistent, just continuing to keep putting on tape that I can play everything, I can do everything, I'm a willing blocker. Just continue to showing that I'm not going to drop the ball.
He's got to love the blocking thing, right?
Yeah, he does. He's on me a lot about the blocking, and that's something that I told him this year I'm going to take even more serious. Like I'm going to pick up a lot of those bigger blocks. Like anytime, like there were certain plays where I just wasn't in the game because maybe it was a certain run play or stuff like that. Just small stuff like that. Like that's not happening this year. Just showing that I'm going to do it, and it's come down to just effort, just wanting to do it, just going out there, putting your body on the line for your brother, and that's just something that I feel like I owe to my team and to the university that I love and care for so much. Just going and doing it all, you know. So I mean, that's definitely something that he's talked to me about, just going out there and just continuing to keep putting the good stuff on tape, but also putting some different stuff on there as well.
When you had so much turnover between the end of spring to the start of the fall, as someone who's been through college football, someone who understands this area, understands college football, was that a red flag to you that we haven't had continuity? This could be a problem for us.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say it was a red flag. I just knew it was going to be an obstacle. Just going to be an obstacle. I mean, you have some of these teams that have had the same coaches that we've been for like, 10, 15 years.
Sure.
Even some coaches that have been there 4 or 5 years. Like, even if a coach was there for 2 years before, you know, it's a lot harder to start with a new regime from the bottom up, you know. It's a lot harder to do that. So, I mean, we kind of knew, but, I mean, it was a challenge we were willing to take. I mean, we had no choice but to continue to go through it. We were going to forfeit the season. And we had no choice but to play through it. So, I mean, why not give your best, give all your effort, and give everything you can?
So you mentioned, again, it's the realities of football these days. You've gone through 3 offensive systems, right, in the last 3 years now with Bobby Petrino. You know, is it, from your perspective, do you feel there are systems that put you in best position? Is it more about I need to give a reason to the coaching staff to put me in those best positions? And with Petrino specifically, like, I mean, that guy's been around the block for a while. He's known for offenses. So when you saw that he was coming and those first kind of meetings and things like that, and now with the practices, how do you feel you are being used right now, and why you expect big things?
I mean, I really expect big things because that's the standard I hold myself to. There hasn't been really too many conversations on how they're going to use me or what they're going to do or anything like that. It's just more I hold myself to a certain standard to where I know that anytime I line up, I'm not worried about the person in front of me. I'm worried about what do I need to do. I just make sure I need to get to the spot I need to be and everything like that. And I mean, I really don't know how they're going to use me this year. I just wherever they need me, that's where I'm going to go.
It's time to suit up. Let's go, right?
It's just whatever. Just put the ball down and let's play.
I didn't realize you went to Providence Day.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm sure you have a Nicky Aquano poster on your wall somewhere.
He's a dog.
So you're allowed to like some state people then?
He's not a state person.
He's a Providence Day guy. Okay. Or Panther, right?
No, he's a Panther now.
He's a Panther now, but I mean, deep down inside, you uncover all that other stuff. He's a Charger at heart. That's what matters most.
See, man, you get it.
But it's funny though. I think people might, this and this connection with Charlotte and North Carolina, and a lot of recruiting history between this city and Chapel Hill, right?
Sam Howell, Drake May.
Yeah, I mean it's nuts, right? So like these are certain things that mean something to Tar Heel fans, mean something to you.
Yeah, for sure.
So I guess it's with as much changes as you see in college athletics, does that still drives you? I mean, you could easily said, hey man, the portal's open, there's money flowing, maybe I think about something else, right? But that clearly means something to you.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, just being from Charlotte, I've had a lot of close friends that have played at Chapel Hill, like brought some of those guys up from Charlotte, De'Ami Brown, Drake, Sam, all from Charlotte guys, all guys that I grew super, super tight with. And then even some of the guys that aren't specifically from Charlotte but have played at UNC, like Josh Downs, like guys like that, JJ Jones, like guys that I've been able, another Charlotte guy, Tez Walker, Hakeem Nicks, those guys are people that I've grown super, super close with. Like I talk to Hakeem all the time. I talk to De'Ami. I was just training with De'Ami over the 4th of July weekend. I was training with Tez over the summer. I trained with him a good amount. My trainer is I train with Hakeem Nicks. Like, those are all Carolina guys, and I mean, they're all Charlotte guys, you know. So I mean, that definitely holds something special to me. And I mean, I want to get as many Charlotte guys in the building as I can. You know, coaches, know they have their own way of doing recruiting and everything like that. And that's just something I don't question. That's not what I'm here to do. I'm not here to question what they do. I'm here to do whatever they tell me to do. So I mean, whatever they're doing, obviously it worked for coach. So I mean, I'm not one to get in the way of that.
You just brought up Giglio's football crush, the Downs.
Yeah.
Anytime there's like a Downs conversation, Giglio's like, yes, let's have this conversation.
Caleb's a great player. I don't really know Caleb.
Okay.
I don't really know. I don't think I've never really talked to him before, but I know I have nothing but respect for that whole family. You know, they're all amazing. Like, Caleb's a great. He's a really, really, really good player.
It's going to be the NFL Rookie of the Year. So
I don't know. That's he's killing it, man.
yeah, he's going to be really good.
So you mentioned Drake too, and Giglio and I were like this too. You know, look, it's funny. We watch you guys. We're in town. Like, we watch all this stuff, and with Drake, it was like, yeah, guys, no, let's not overthink this.
Yeah.
Drake May's that guy. He's going to be just fine in the NFL. What do we see?
He's gonna kill it.
What have we seen? Right?
Yeah, exactly. It's been. He's a Charlotte guy. That's what we're known to do. Just kill the objective in front of you. He's gonna kill it, man.
I love it. I love it.
Charlotte guy. KC. Shout out KC too. That's
another.
That's actually a.
Now give me what he is though.
To me, he is a Team Charlotte elite kid.
Okay.
That was our.
Whoa.
I played Little League football with KC since we were like probably 6 years old.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of us, me, his little brother, his little brother Nunu or Arion, we all played together. James Pierce, another guy that was on that team. Jordan Thompson, Zion Booker. We got a lot of great players. Like, there's a lot of Sadiq White. He plays basketball up in Syracuse. Like, there's a lot of great players on those teams. KJ Flo, Trey Henderson, some JMU guys, TJ. Like, we had a lot of great players, man. And I mean, it's no reason. I don't think it's no like surprise.
Well, best of luck this season. I can tell just from this conversation, man, you are ready.
Yeah.
You ready to prove some people wrong. I love to see that. So
Keep fighting the good fight, man.
Yeah.
We appreciate you sitting down. We'll talk to you later.
Appreciate you guys. Y'all have a good one.
Joining us at ACC Kickoff on the Heister Automotive Group microphone from North Carolina, defensive standout last year, Melkart Abou-Jaoude. What's going on, man? This is like unknown, come out of nowhere story of the defense last year, ACC Kickoff. You gotta love this.
Yeah, it feels great.
So here's my thing. What is going through your mind as the season goes on and you got Bill Belichick, future Hall of Famer, multiple Super Bowl champion, just singing your praises, your journey to get here and having Bill talking about how you're a hard worker, paying off, and really looking to be a leader this upcoming season?
Yeah, it's just a testament that, the hard work that you put in ultimately will pay out. I mean, you don't know when it's going to pay off, but eventually it will. And last year, that was just a sign of that, and I'm just still working hard and I'm still trying to reap more benefits.
So I'm trying to figure this out. Is the CAA more difficult than the ACC?
No.
Are you sure? Because do I have this right? You had more sacks at Carolina last year than you did at Delaware at any point?
Yeah, schematically at Delaware, we was in that 3 down. I was down in that 4-eye. So
okay.
Coach Belichick allowed me to be out wide in that 9 tech, and stuff gets dangerous from there.
Okay. It's all about the scheme, being in the right place at the right time.
For sure.
Okay. Because the Blue Hens now,
They got history.
Yeah. We had a good time over there. I learned a lot of stuff, developed, made a lot of good relationships.
I was going to say, you must be from New Jersey if you went to Delaware.
I am from New Jersey.
Okay, yeah. it's like only people who go to Delaware, man. Not even people from Delaware, I think, go to Delaware.
Oh, that's not true. That's not true. My wife's family all went to Delaware. They grew up in Delaware, so like okay. I know the Blue Hen history from back in the day. Although I'm sure, do you miss Corrado's pizza at all?
I don't indulge in pizza if it's not from New Jersey.
Okay. Giglio's a Jersey guy. He has strong pizza opinions.
Fills out all ACC ballot. There's an O-A-O-U-D-E. Make sure I spell it right. That's all I needed, not the sacks or anything else, man.
Just the pizza.
That's it. Now, when did you start becoming more comfortable in the middle of last year? You really started kind of turning on in the middle of the ACC play. When did you start feeling kind of more comfortable and maybe being in a different spot and really just maybe understanding everything that was coming your way from Coach Belichick and Steven as well?
Yeah, I've gotten this question a few times, but I always felt comfortable.
You did.
I was there in the spring, and then I had the spring in the playbook, I had the fall in the playbook, and I learned the playbook pretty quickly, so I never had no trouble with it. It's just more like we just started to play better as a team, and right time, right place, and it just started to work out.
The offense, quarterback, how's it? You have a better understanding than anybody else right now. You're going up against these guys. So and with Bobby Petrino being the offensive coordinator, so what are you seeing out of this? What do you think makes the offense dangerous going into this season?
Yeah, I think Bobby Petrino, he puts the players in a good position. He mixes up the looks. And the quarterbacks, they got their strengths and weaknesses, and they're going to battle that out and figure out who's going to be the best for us week one.
Now, we're going to talk to Jordan Shipp here in a second, too. So how's he coming along? I mean, this is yet another year, more leadership, big expectations, maybe thinking NFL, all that kind of stuff. What are you seeing out of him?
Yeah, Shipp's great. He works hard. He shows up every day, same person, working hard. And he's a playmaker, you can't tackle him. He's open, and he's a playmaker.
Gotcha.
For sure.
How long did it take you to figure out the dynamics in North Carolina between like NC State, Duke, Wake Forest, and Carolina? Like how long did it take you in Chapel Hill to figure out, okay, it's a little bit like Philly and Devils or Philly and Rangers or some of the Philly, New Jersey, New York kind of cross section?
Yeah, I learned that pretty quickly.
Okay.
Yeah. they keep tabs here.
Yeah, it's strong tension between the 3 schools or 4 schools in the state. Yeah.
Is it enough to hate them already though, or now after you've seen them for 1 year? Yeah, that's plenty.
Yeah.
I've got some strong feelings.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which ones do you feel strongest? We're Raleigh. We're in Raleigh.
We're around. We're here, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, you didn't grow up in it. This was like a baptism by fire for you last year.
Yeah. No, I just I love my teammates, and my teammates are angry about a certain thing. I'm angry too.
Okay.
They jump off a bridge, I'm jumping too.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Since it's there again, because again, you don't know us, man. We're in the triangle. We cover State, Carolina, Duke, and again, we've been around for a long time watching these dynamics play out. And what you're talking about here is, I love to hear it, right? I love to hear that. Now we're mad about what happened at Carter Finley Stadium. So, look, you got your work to do. You've got things to carry over. You got your meetings, but what are those conversations like about the guys who are back, along with all the freshmen that are coming along too, to get them to understand you guys might not be here and you're part of this new foundation?
Yeah.
How do you get those guys to have it click now?
Yeah, I mean, we're not really talking about that now. Like, we're not working the off-season thinking about that.
But you're going to get there eventually.
Yeah,
that game's on the schedule.
Yeah, we'll get there, and they'll feel the fire in practice. Like, you want to say you practice the same every practice, but when you get to them rivalry games, you feel the intensity in practice kick up. Everyone's moving faster, hitting harder, and they'll feel it, and they'll do the same thing.
How about the next team on the schedule, though, TCU?
Yeah.
It took a little zeal in the second half of that game, running it up on you guys a little bit, didn't they?
Yeah, we're excited for that game, for sure.
Okay.
You got to be excited on multiple levels.
Yeah.
That'd be a cool opportunity going out to Ireland to kick things off in a week 0, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So you know anything about, like, do you have guys like an itinerary yet? Do you guys going to get at least some tourist time to take things in? How's that going to play out? Or is it just, we get it, we're here, it's this week 0 opportunity, international, a lot of eyeballs, but you're here to play?
Yeah, I'm not sure about the schedule, but if I had to guess, I would say just business trip, football.
Fair enough.
I like it, man. I like it. Here we go.
Well, best of luck.
Let's do it.
Best of luck this season. Looking forward to seeing what you add on to what was already a great breakout season last year on the defensive side of the ball. So good luck, and we'll see how those triangle dynamics play out for you. We'll be keeping an eye on that.
Thank you guys for having me.
Thank you.
Yeah, we found out that UNC AD Steve Newmark, very big fan of Rhodesians, which is on the Roback logo. Roback, Rhodesian, here you are. He loves the logo for that very, very reason. Now, he doesn't need our promo code. Steve does not need our promo code.
No. You made that clear.
You made it very clear.
Maybe that's why I was on one. I don't need your promo code. Whoa.
UNC's got a deal.
Whoa.
So, hey, we just got done talking to Steve Newmark and Jordan Shipp. I love that conversation with Jordan Shipp, by the way. They've got great UNC stuff at Roback, and we know how people are in Charlotte.
Yeah.
Big Charlotte town, big UNC town. So we want to get those Charlotte numbers up. We always say that when we're in Charlotte.
Number goes up.
So if you're a Charlotte area listener, use that promo code OG20. Get some of that UNC gear ahead of the start of the
Or
season.
Ohio State. Alabama.
Well, I
OG20.
don't think Alabama needs our help. But yes, if you're an Alabama fan that wants to get in on the Alabama thing,
We want to get in.
we want to drink from that trough now. That's what we need in our lives. So look, Roback's got great stuff. They got great collegiate gear. Football's right around the corner. You're thinking about this stuff. You got to update those game day fits, man. You don't want to go back to your tailgate looking tired and old. You want some new, fresh Roback.
You don't want to go to the Brazilian steakhouse in Charlottesville before that game, do you? Ben asked today if I was coming up for the game. I was like, I don't think so.
You don't want to go?
Have you been? Well, you probably
I've been to
have.
Charlottesville once.
Have you been to a football game there?
No, I've never been to a football game there.
Okay.
I've been to the building. I just never been there. So, just something to think about. You want to do a show live from a?
I would go up there for the Friday and go home for the game.
I don't know. Maybe Ben can convince us. We shall see. Anyway, use that promo code OG20. Want a free Roback? All you got to do is go to millerlending.com or give them a direct call at 919-447-3377. Have a conversation. If it's right for you to refinance right now and you take that thing and close, you'll get a Roback from us. Right?
Can't get any easier than that.
Cannot get any easier than that.
Austin's got you. Give him a call, 919-447-3377. But you got to let him know.
Mm-hmm.
Can't just be willy-nilly about this.
No, you have to tell.
10 weeks later, send me an email that says,
by the way,
a refinance. No.
it's got to be right now.
I'm the OG.
Got to be right now. It's not because, I didn't realize you guys had this deal with Roback and Miller Lending, yada, yada, yada. No. You got to do it now. So anyway, hit them up, 919-447-3377. Just like you got to hit up Matt Davis, InsureGarner.com, 919-779-8277. Save money with your home and auto. More importantly, financially plan. It's one thing that Matt Davis does to help your family, not just, get the right coverage, obviously, but think about things 5, 10, 15 years from now and get your financial goals going. If you want to hit those goals, you got to start it at some point. Now's the time to do it. So hit them up. 919-779-8277, InsureGarner.com. And, of course, our guy, Chris Brassfield, check him out online at BrassfieldAccounting.com. I actually just got a Q3, a Q2, Q3 thing from our friends at Breaking Tea for some of those referral codes and whatnot. And I don't think about these things. I don't have that financial brain. I don't think about quarters and fiscal years and stuff like that.
There's only one reason I do.
Well, that's your job.
Taxes.
Technically. That's technically your job. If you're like me, you don't have that bandwidth and needed a fractional CFO, this is where, and even if you are like Joe, who handles the money side of things, there's only so much bandwidth there and some things you don't know. You don't know what you don't know. And
fair.
Fractional CFO does know. Brassfield Accounting is going to help you out. So hit them up, BrassfieldAccounting.com. Manny Diaz sitting down with us at ACC Kickoff on the Heister Automotive Group microphone. Duquette football coach, ACC champ. It's got a nice ring to it, right?
Say that again in my good ear. I want to make sure the levels.
ACC champ.
Microphone check on that.
Okay,
one. Good,
when you were coming up from Florida yesterday, were you going through the tiebreakers, the new tiebreakers? Are you reading over those?
I've heard about it. Look, what I remember, December was a long time ago.
Yeah.
I don't think we came in here in dark helicopters and black SUVs. We won by the most objective standard, right? We won 6 games, and the 6 games that we won against better competition than anybody else. And I say all that to say this: talking to our players to understand that we deserve to be here, and then when we're here, we won the game. And so we're deserved ACC champions by the rules of engagement, by the rules that any professional league would, and to keep it from being, what bums me out is that everything turns into a beauty pageant. You know what I mean? And we're gonna use different types of analytics and whatever, and all of that is tied into preseason rankings and strength of schedule and all types of metrics, other than just the most simple thing. How many did you win, and how many did the teams that you play win and lose?
You don't got to convince me. I thought the reaction to everything last year was over the top. And I guess, look, you did media back in the day. You know how this all works. And I was just like, guys, the rules are the rules. You won the games that were in front of you.
Right.
What are we talking about here? So I thought it was an overreaction to everything. Much like I got to imagine that the reaction to you winning and then yet another season where you're not really being discussed motivates you, motivates your players, and you're having, another opportunity to do this again. I got to imagine that that's fired everybody up.
Yeah, we're as a program, we're way better with a chip on our shoulder. It's what I've noticed in the 2 years we've been there.
Yeah.
We struggle with expectation. I think, again, had we not had the turbulence in January, the whole narrative here would have been different of like how, hey, wait, can we go back to back, all that type of stuff.
Probably, yeah.
And now you get thrown in the bottom of the pile again. And so what our players need is they need evidence. They need proof. Like, okay, how did this happen the first time? And how do we make this happen again? Remember, 2 years ago, we sat here, and that's, Riley Leonard left, and Aeneas Peoples left, and Jordan Waters went to State, and Brandon Johnson went to Oregon. So it was kind of the same thing. Duke was left for dead. Elko left. Was that it? Was a party over? And so how did that happen? How did that team win 9 games and go to the Gator Bowl? And I think that's what it's been about, is that okay, maybe this process, even though the names change, and guess what? That's college football. Trust how we do and who we are, and then we can expect, similar results.
Before we get into some nitty-gritty, it's important to give Nina King a lot of credit for that, right? Like to have this system in place and for Duke to have the success across the board the way that they have, especially in football. When you were coming up, let's be honest, Duke football was winning no games, one game, had long losing streaks. Like when you were at Florida State and Miami, you were laughing at Duke.
Right. Well, Nina King and really Vincent Price, our president, alignment wins, said that all the time. And look, the fact that we won the league in men's and women's basketball, and not just the tournament, regular season champion. So to me, that's sustained excellence, right?
Yeah.
That's very unique. It's very rare. It hasn't been done in an extraordinarily long time. That means that Duke is committed. Duke has had so many chances to punt on football, to use the pun, and they haven't. They recognize the importance of football. We feel that support. And I think it's been fun to put a product on the field worthy of the support that we've gotten from above.
All right, now some nonsense.
You know the nonsense is always with us.
This is actually good nonsense. At what point in your preparation for the North Carolina game last year did you watch the 2015 AFC divisional playoff game between the Patriots and the Baltimore Ravens?
That'd be a zero times.
0 times.
You're talking about the tight end, the hidden tight end play. Right?
Correct.
That play.
Give me the origin, please.
That play has been in college football forever. That's been a Gus Malzahn. Everybody in the country calls it fight. He called it fight song.
Okay.
Everybody calls it fight song because fight song's getting ready to play.
Yeah.
I mean, so long, that goes so back. I think when I was at Mississippi State in 2010, we called our check against our defense fight song because we knew it was called fight song. So that play's been around college. I don't know. You'd have to ask Gus where he got it from, but it's been around a while. So when people ask me afterwards, hey, was that
an homage?
It totally missed me, yeah.
So how many times have you run that play before you saw Bill Belichick?
So it's insane. That's a play like many trick plays that you carry every week.
Sure.
And it just never got called.
Okay.
So we had it in the plan. It was no reason why we ran it against UNC that we didn't run it against, anybody else. It just happened to show up that week.
So for our YouTube watchers, you're seeing Joe's face in reaction to this. If you're audio only, I can only describe Giglio's smirk. And Giglio's smirk, if you've seen it, that you're like, But to back you up, I see where you're coming from this. Look, I've read a couple of books about this, and what always fascinates me about coaching is there's no new ideas, there's only remixes. And all this stuff is built on what previous coaches have built even before that. Right. So that makes a lot of sense. So when you go into these things and you've picked up in your football journey to be here, just how much of this was built on a foundation of stuff that's 20, 30, whatever years ago, and you're just adding some wrinkles to it?
That's all it is.
Yeah.
I mean, there are some through lines. I can go all the way back to the 90s Florida State and Coach Bowden or Mickey Andrews' defense.
Yeah.
There are things that have changed and evolved this offseason.
Okay.
Right? Because everybody's going to study Indiana and what do they do? You know what I mean? So you have to be tethered to something as an ideal, whether that's your culture of your program, whether that's, your schematics. I mean, it's got to be something. You can't just be wishy-washy and just try to, put your thumb out the window and what works today.
Yeah.
But you are always adapting and trying to find out, because everyone else is adapting at the same time. And if there's one common thing in college ball now, it's change, right? And so those who adapt to change the best on and off the field are those who win.
So when do you carve out time in the year to kind of study, so to speak?
Well, you can say during the offseason, but I'm not sure it doesn't happen in season too.
Okay.
I mean, you're watching people in season and seeing what they're doing and seeing what you can incorporate and again, anything. Our league, right, the margins are so slender in this league between winning and losing, so you're always looking for something that, that can work.
You mentioned the turbulence with your former quarterback. I said, and I don't like Duke, Coach. You know this. I said I feel bad for Duke in the sense that I didn't love the timing of it. If it happens in any other point in the window, you could probably go out and make some adjustments, make some moves. I just felt like the timing of it was wrong.
Right.
But then there's also like this Miami layer to it. Right?
Right.
I mean, are you completely detached on this Miami thing, or are you, because you said the black helicopters and the other thing before, right?
Yeah.
Like, did it feel personal?
I don't think that it was.
Okay.
And I guess here's the point. It doesn't really matter. Like, the only thing that matters is how do we solve the problem, right? At 4:30 on that Friday, we had a problem, and we had to solve it. And the fact that Walker Eagat was available for us to be able to solve that problem was extraordinary. And fortunately he got eligible, got his year back. He's ahead of schedule for where he was health-wise. But look, we ideally want to be a program that attracts great quarterbacks. And what we've seen in 2 years is that quarterbacks can have tremendous success in our system. We are a quarterback-friendly offense on purpose. And so, this is part of what happens.
Yeah.
If we were playing like crap, nobody would want our quarterback or nobody would want any of our players.
Right.
So this is just kind of sort of what happens, right?
So we talked to Nate Sheppard earlier, and I guess there's just an idea of, hey man, it happened, flush it. This is the team we got, and this is what we're going to go out there and we're going to go out there and do the best we can and win. And I get back to a through line. You talk about those through lines, and I guess the best way to describe it is grimy. I think you've used the term in the sewers, and you've been in some of those games. And how much of you've got new players, right? You've got wide receivers who have not been together with this quarterback. So how do you instill that in the offseason, that once you don't get a preseason, so once you get to that first game, and you found yourself in a grimy game to start last year, right? So how do you instill that from the jump, especially with a bunch of new players?
Right, so coaches are going to sit here where I'm sitting, and they're going to use the word like culture and data this, data that. So, but Duke guys are different. Like, Duke guys need evidence. They got to see data. Like, even a word like grimy. Okay, cool. Define that. What does that mean? Right. Because again, if we just sit there and say we're going to roll up our sleeves and out tough them, and it doesn't mean anything to our guys. They want to see it. So that's why David Feely, we think he's the GOAT as a strength coach, because not only can he do all the things that the coach can say, sort of intangibly, he shows them the data. I sat here this time last year, I said we're stronger and faster than any Duke team in the last 3 or 4 years.
Are you stronger and faster now?
We are now.
Okay.
Our bench, our squat, and our power clean are all up on team average. We have double the guys that run 22 miles an hour. We had another guy PR, or 22 miles an hour. We had another guy PR over 22 today. We have, I think, 2/3 of our football team could run over 20 miles an hour. We are by far the fastest Duke team in the last 5 years. Now, like I said, does that translate to wins and losses? Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. But it lets our players know that the process works.
Okay.
And the only reason we got to 9-9 back-to-back is because of that process.
Manny Diaz, head coach, Duke, we appreciate the time. As always, best of luck this season. I still think... Sorry, Joe. I know you tried today with your hair. He was very nervous today.
I was.
He's like,
make sure I got the right
Manny
products.
Today. He outdid me last year, so he cared. Okay, process. He was cared about process.
But also on a serious note, we all kind of broke into the league at the same time. You did something I never thought would ever be done. You won an ACC football championship at Duke. Congratulations to you.
We won that, and all the people, the staff, everybody, they deserve the credit.
Best of luck this season.
Thank you all.
Sitting down with us at ACC Kickoff, running back Duke, Nate Sheppard. I'm assuming on your way over here you were reading the new tiebreakers. You got to be locked in on that?
Yeah, we read a little bit of it, We don't think too much of it. We're not worried about it.
So last year, did you guys, we started to look at, hey, what are these tiebreaker scenarios looking like? We're kind of veering into this. When did y'all start really, locking in on, hey, we got an opportunity here?
We controlled our destiny all season up until that Virginia game. Then we left it in other people's hands. So, that was really on us. But I can't remember. I think we had been in beat Wake, and we were watching. It was some game we were watching, and we were like, this might happen. But we weren't thinking too much of it. We threw away our shot that we could have really got in there on our own. But, leave it up to other people's hands.
But then
that's just how it works.
But then you took advantage of it. You got the opportunity back, right? That's all that matters, right?
Yep.
So there you go.
All right, you want your football question first or your family question first?
It's up to you. Let's go football.
Football. So who did you talk to after the first 10 games of the season to say, hey, it would be an awesome idea if I got the ball a whole lot more and you gave me the ball and let me run and really take care of this thing? Who did you convince after those first 10 games?
I think that was a lot of Coach Foster advocating for me, our old running back coach. Obviously the staff put a lot of trust in me towards the end of the season and stuff. I think I showed I could handle it and all that. So going through all those ups and downs and seeing what my ability was, I think the idea in the coaching staff room was just, give this guy the ball a couple more times and, the results may be there.
Because you're 5-5 after 10 games. I just want you to know this. You could share this with your agent or whoever else. You let them know. Duke, 5-5. Nate Sheppard, 700 yards. Not bad in 10 games. 70 yards per game. Not bad. But 5-5 is not great. Okay? It's 500. Last 4 games, Nate Sheppard, 432 yards. Duke, 4-0.
Math.
That's math.
That is math a little bit.
That's easy math. Easy math for you guys. A lot of running backs as the season goes on wear down, but you gain some steam. You also gain more carries. Is that just a matter of being able to get into a rhythm and maybe even feel like a little bit of high school, right? When you probably carried the ball 24, 25 times a game?
Definitely. Obviously it's an adjustment getting to college football, especially being so young, being a true freshman and everything. So once I really got adjusted, I got acclimated. After them first couple games, I realized, I'm meant to be here. I can play with these guys. It's nothing I haven't done before. So, I think once the coaching staff saw that and put the more trust in me, it was just it all clicked together.
So what's this offseason been like? We don't need to rehash what happened in the spring, right? It is what it is. You guys have a season coming up. But I got to imagine that might change how you go about your offensive identity this upcoming season. Again, I'm not a hardcore football knower, but I kind of know it when I see it. And I got to imagine there's going to be a lot more riding on you this year with that offense. Has that been discussed?
Yeah, it's definitely been discussed. The coaching staff trusts me. I trust everybody in front of me, the O-line, tight ends, wide receivers, our quarterbacks, whoever that may be. So, I have no worries about what our offense is going to look like. It's going to be the same production we had last year, whether that's me carrying the ball a couple more times than last year or the same thing as last year. I think our offensive production is still going to be there.
Well, like you said, the adjustment to college football, have you changed maybe how you work out? Have you changed maybe how you eat, recovery, so that you can get this production, not kind of slow down as the season goes on? Have you changed any of that?
I'll say I think we have one of the best strength coaches in the country, if not the best strength coach in David Feely. He's going to push us every day. He's got us on a very strict regimen on how we work out and how we get bigger. This is one of the fastest and strongest teams we've had in many years here at Duke University. So, I have no worries on that aspect. Obviously, recovery and eating, I've changed the way I recover a little bit since high school. After high school, you wouldn't really do nothing. But now, I take a little more care of my body and stuff like that. And then, I try to eat a little bit better. So,
okay, that's good. That's good. Yeah, look, you get up there in age, trust me, you can't eat like you used to. I'm very aware of that.
It's 2026, and people change teams and all those other things. But when Darian makes that decision to leave at the time that he did, were the players on the team, you don't want to get in the guy's pocketbook and the whole thing, but it's like, what was your reaction when it happened that late in the process?
It was kind of just, brush it off. It is what it is. It's what this game is right now. Yep. There's nothing we can really do about it, so it's why dwell on it. So, we had a meeting about it. It was like, that's the decision it is. It is what it is. We're going to move on from this and get ready for next season. That's kind of what it was.
Did Manny hit you with, my team's on the field kind of a thing? Like, this is our group now. This is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to have to go out and do.
That's exactly what the conversation was. It's the guys that were in that team room right there, and then the couple of transfers that we brought in, that's what it was going to be, and we're going to make it work. We're going to be just fine.
All right, now I'm going to hit you with your family question. Who's the best athlete in your family?
Oh, it's me, 100%.
You?
Yeah. Well, actually, this is a level question. I'd say athletic-wise, my brother may have me a little bit, but recently, I'm stronger, I'm faster than him, but him on the basketball court is something, if you've never watched his basketball tape, it's something special. So I'll definitely give him that, but I'm the best football player for sure.
You're like in shock here by this, Joe.
No,
Why?
the answer is always mom.
Mom's up
His
there.
mom
Mom's
played
up there.
volleyball at Louisiana Tech. His
That's
dad
right.
played football. His brother played football at Vanderbilt. The answer is always mom, man. I don't know if she's a watcher of the OG, but
I'll make sure she tunes in, but nah.
okay. No, we got to defend her though. Like,
Nah, she's definitely super athletic. She played a lot of sports in high school. Obviously played volleyball at LA Tech. She was really good when she played too.
Yeah.
So. But, I believe in myself and my abilities, so I'm going to say myself for now. But mom's right there. Mom's right there up there.
All right, so how do you disassociate now? Like, you playing video games? I got to imagine you don't want to go on social media because, people can get at you or whatever it is, or you just doom scrolling or whatever it is. So, like, what do you do to unwind now? How do you get away from football for a little bit?
Yeah, I play the game. I'm always on there with my brother and stuff, all my friends back home.
Yeah.
I watch TV, just chill.
What are you playing?
Right now we're playing a lot of college football, actually.
Okay.
Not getting away from the game too much, but Black Ops 2 just released, so we're on that a lot.
Oh, yeah.
did you frame your check from EA Sports, or did you actually cash it?
Your EA Sports.
Your EA
NIL.
Sports. You get a cut.
You get a cut
the-
from that now.
Oh, yeah, no, that's gone. That's gone.
I know it's not that much, but like that's why you might frame that one. Be like, that's pretty cool. Not only am I in the game, but
Yeah, but here's a little money from it,
I got
too.
a little bit. So,
Yeah, no, it definitely is.
well, you guys won this championship last year. A lot of people aren't going to pick you to do that this year. We're allowed to curse on this program, so listen. I'm not a Duke fan. I don't lie to people. That's a thing. But I am very jealous of Duke motherfucker. Okay, I am very jealous of that hashtag. So I gotta believe there's a little bit of that attitude for you guys that's going to be built in this year, for losing the players that you did, the way that the situation unfolded, but also now you're going to be disrespected, given what people see coming back and maybe not know what you really have.
Yeah, you're an ACC champ team coming back.
Right.
And it's like not on the radar. Again, that's got to be motivation.
It's Duke every year, though. Every year we're going to be picked middle, bottom of the rankings. Go back all the way when Riley Leonard left. That team had 9 wins.
That's right.
in the season.
Yeah.
Go back last year. We brought in Darian. Can Darian do it at this level? Darian was able to do it at this level.
Yeah.
So it's going to be the same thing with Duke every year. We're going to have that chip on our shoulder. We're going to go out there and play with an edge, and we'll just let the media talk.
All right, man. Well, I'm looking forward to watching it, man. Appreciate the time. Good luck this season. We'll watch.
Thank you.
Joining us at ACC Kickoff, Wake Forest head football coach Jake Dickert. You're not built in the darkness anymore, man. 9 wins, Mayo Bath. I'm sorry. You can't. We know. It's out there, man. We know what's up. Come on now. That was an incredible debut.
Here's the way we talk about it, guys. The spotlight found us a little bit, right? Surprised a lot of different people. Not going to be able to do that again, but if you're truly built in the dark, you know when to turn the lights out. And this is the moment, man. We flip the switch, the lights are out, and we're back to our process, guys.
Perfect. I love it. I got to ask you, though. What's that mayo, man? Like, is it the consistency looks a little off?
So people ask me this question a lot. Here's what I would say. It's definitely watered down so it can flow out.
Yeah.
So which brings a unbelievably terrible smell to it.
Oh,
Yet is the most glorious thing because it means you won the game. I convinced my kids to come up there with me, and it came right over my shoulder. It hit my son Jet in the back. He was like, "Dad, it went down my underwear." I said, "Boys, don't worry, we're throwing those away." Right, so just enjoy it.
Of all the eventful wins and moments from that season, does that stand out the most, or
Yeah, 'cause I'm
maybe
thinking-
getting the best to Bill Belichick at some point? Or, I don't know.
I'll leave that one alone. I think it just capped our season. I think that was the biggest thing. It was an awesome season. A lot of people didn't expect it. We had a high standard and we kind of played through it. But to beat an SEC opponent in front of a home crowd right here in Charlotte meant a lot to our team and our program. And I think it really showed that group last year, what's possible at Wake.
Yeah.
And, so I think we take that one with us. The crown jewel, though, of our season was going on the road to Virginia Tech after the Georgia Tech ending of that game, not feeling sorry for ourselves, and going on the road and getting a big win. So it was a great season.
I feel like you got an issue, though, with Giglio. A little bit of an issue with Giglio. Because last year, what'd you tell him about the Clawson playbook?
I mean,
here's how you ruin NC State.
Surely he just gave it to you, right? Like he just handed it over to you.
Here's how you ruin NC State's season, right?
Yeah. I would say this. I've thought about this as I was coming in here today.
Yeah.
I was like, I remember him distinctly saying that. And, Coach Doran did a better job adjusting at halftime. You know, we didn't come out and do as good as we could in the second half, but I tell you what, it still pains me to this day hearing that cheer in the fourth quarter of our own stadium. It's motivating.
I was going to ask you, that's a little bit of we say, look, Joe and I have been here for a very, very long time, and if you're outside North Carolina, I mean, you got an idea, right? You got to live it a little bit, and you see those dynamics playing out, and I love hearing that. Like, we remember.
You hear about the Big Four. You know, you get a chance to experience some of those games. Obviously, we get a chance to go down to Raleigh this year and experience what that environment looks like, and a lot of credit, to State and what they do and the environment that they provide. But, like I said, to beat UNC at home, something our fans are very, very passionate about.
Yes.
The best part, guys, though, is that I think we put a lot of respect on the WF.
Yep.
And I think it's resonated in recruiting. It's resonated around our state. And it's good to walk around in Raleigh and people boo you. Like, instead of being like, oh, there's good old Wake Forest. So that's what we did in the first year, and we got to build upon that.
Good.
You're a quick study. At the quarterback position, I'm curious. You did play against Gio Lopez last year. Where the portal works now, the world works now, what did you see in Gio, either from this stop, the previous stop, where you think, okay, this is a guy that can come in here and help us win football games?
So here's the dynamic with college football, and it worked for me a lot at Washington State. I would hire a coordinator to bring a quarterback. Okay, so when I got here, it was late. It was late December. I knew I wanted to hire Robbie Zell. Gio was the quarterback. That's the dynamic in college football.
I got you.
But it just ended up being too late. And then when he got in the spring portal, we were out of the market, and obviously the UNC thing. And to bring him back with an offensive coordinator that he believes in a system and a style that fits his game, that he can communicate about and he feels confident with, I love what our offensive coaches did last year. You have this playbook and you have this blueprint of what you want to do, and they had to pivot. We had Robbie Ashford, tough son of a gun. He could run all over the yard, and we had to pivot our plan. Gio allows us to get closer back to the way we want to play football, downfield passing, play-action pass game, checking the run game in a lot of different varieties. So I think he's comfortable in our system. I'm most proud of him from day one. He's never been afraid to lead from the front.
Okay.
And I think he didn't feel his way out.
Yeah.
He didn't come in and say, let me feel this new dynamic and where I fit. He said, let's go, and he took the reins, and that was important for our program.
He's been able to flush last year?
He's not trying to prove people wrong.
No.
I think that's important.
Well, look, being with the guy from South Alabama, your OC, that's a big
It's huge, and he's comfortable with it, but at the end of the day, it's an inner battle that we all face.
Sure.
And he faced the failure. In his own words at times, he would say, I failed in a loud capacity in front of a big audience and big stages, but it's a team game.
Yeah.
And he owns it. But the best part, doesn't speak one word bad about his experience there, and he loves being here at Wake Forest, and he feels free as a player to play the way he's capable of playing.
I'm just slightly disappointed that you brought in Gio Lopez because you have the potential for the first NIL deal for an OG athlete in Gannon Jones.
That's right.
I know his dad, and he's a Cardinal Gibbons.
Cardinal
guy.
Gibbons. Shout out to Cardinal Gibbons.
Gibbons 97.
Coach, there was a chance there for us to at least slide an OG wristband on Gannon.
A little NIL deal.
Just a chance.
Hey, there's still the opportunity.
We can do it.
Hey,
We
with
can
the
do
new
it.
rule, he'll
We
be
can do
suited up on game days.
Will be. Okay.
He's got an opportunity to be the third
Maybe we'll get him a
travel.
visor. If there's a walking deke and an OG on the side.
Oh, that'd be good.
Coach,
As
with the clipboard?
Coach,
with the clipboard?
As long as for an hour a day on your show, you guys wear it.
Okay.
Yeah.
We
All
can
right,
work.
there we go.
yeah.
Let's get that walking deep on. Like, we'll make something happen here, guys.
Look, the
Let's
Walking
do
Deek,
it.
the Walking Deek logo is one of the slickest logos
Thank you.
out there, man.
Thank
We are huge fans of that logo. Now, with Gio, it doesn't work unless you support him.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
And the curiosity that I have in terms of what building a roster looks like right now. I mean, again, I'm just kind of crash coursing. We had like Stanley Cup brain thanks to the Carolina Hurricanes, right? Are you just like reworking your entire offensive line? Is that my understanding?
Yeah,
and again, that's kind of the business right now.
I don't know if that's the understanding, but that's our reality.
Okay.
I think the biggest part is, I said it last year, the best program builders maximize the moment while they're having this 3-year plan of development. Mm-hmm. So we're a deeper roster than we have been.
Okay.
We're younger at every position, but we have the same amount of experience that we walked into last season with. We have a ton of potential up front.
Okay.
But there's also potential to start 2 redshirt freshman tackles that I believe will be 2 of the best bookend tackles in the country in the future. So let's be great coaches again. Let's not put them in islands. Mm-hmm. Let's make sure we can keep Gio upright. Mm-hmm. My number one offensive philosophy out there, protect the quarterback. So if he's upright and he's in rhythm, Gio's one of the best pocket passers, I believe, in the country to stand in there. And he took some hits.
He did.
Right? So we have to be good around him. We're young and inexperienced. We got a couple of receivers in Carlos Hernandez and Jack Foley that really have to rise to the occasion. But let's have a great run game, and let's stay out of those type of situations too.
How'd you enjoy Winston-Salem? A little bit different than the Palouse.
Way different than the Palouse. I would say this. I laugh because I got 2 young boys that are going to middle school now, and they went from farm football to Southern football, and it has been an amazing transition. The Dickert boys have had to toughen up a little bit. I will say that, but it's been great for them. My daughter's a sophomore now, and my brother lives right here in Waxhaw, Charlotte, so it's been great to kind of have our family in one place. And my wife said it last week. She said, we're never going back to the north, right? This weather, just embracing all this has been an awesome experience for us, and just really still proud that Wake Forest has given our family a home after a tremendous journey from D3 the last 17 years.
Mm-hmm. So I'm curious, 5-5. Yes, no, like this, the rules that are coming up, does it give you more clarity in roster building? Going back to like the offensive line situation, like every coach has an opinion on this. I'm curious where you're coming from on these rules changes to help you out.
First off, like college football every once in a while needs to slow down. Let's stop band-aiding and let's get it right. But I think this one we got right.
Okay.
I think coaches needed a solution to 105 roster caps. We need to play all these kids. Mm-hmm. And at the end of the day, because there's monetary values attached to all this, naturally as a business guy, some guys are trying to stay in this game as long as they possibly can. One story I always share is when I was at Washington State, Gardner Minshew at Eastern Carolina broke his own hand.
You're going to get in trouble.
Hey, this is a legendary story.
East Carolina. Don't get in trouble.
Yeah, sorry, that one. Broke his own hand to get an extra year and ended up being a Heisman finalist.
Yeah.
So I think it's good to kind of condense, what those guys can do and have an opportunity. The biggest thing I see in recruiting is, Coach, I want to play early.
Yeah.
Now you can.
Okay.
And I think it'll be interesting, the dynamic of prep schools and wait until you're 19 and how people leverage that moment. But at the end of the day, I think constraining it to 5 years is a good thing.
Getting Mateer or Cam Ward for 5 years, that wouldn't have been a bad thing, right?
I think we needed a boatload of money to be able to do those two things. Those are 2 high names you just said there.
And unfortunately, as a 2-person LLC, we are not the ones to hit up for that kind of cash. Maybe a logo, but that's about it.
That's right.
Jake Dickert, Wake Forest head football coach. We appreciate the time as always. Best of luck this season. We're looking forward to seeing how you mess with the Big Four dynamics this year. It's going to be a lot of fun.
I got a lawyer in Raleigh, Wake grad, Jim Kane. He can take care of your built in the darkness cease and desist for you.
We're going to work with that on the ACC.
I'll take care of you.
Wake's got a few lawyers. I think we're good. Thanks,
we'll
Coach.
see you this year, guys. I appreciate it. Go Deeks.
Thank you.
Back again. Different suit, though. Different uniform. Gio Lopez sitting down with us at ACC Kickoff on the Heister Automotive Group microphone. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Different suit. I like it, though. You going with the double-breasted this year?
The double-breasted.
Is that back with the kids?
So it was really my dad. He was a big double-breasted guy when he was working in the car dealership. So show a little love to him.
Wait, how old's your dad?
My dad is 46.
Totally tracks. Because I'm 47.
Yeah.
And when it was like prom, when I went to prom, I had like the button. It was no tie. It was like the weird little no collar tab button. I bet your dad probably rocked that back in the day.
You probably did.
That's probably the case. So I guess, look, man, let's just get it out of the way. Are you having fun again? Like you back now? You're at Wake Forest. A little bit of a reset. How's that working for you right now?
I'm just super excited. Just loving football, being able to play for Coach Ezell, playing for Coach Dickert. Just a lot of energy there. With those 2 guys, especially, you can't really have a bad day around them. You have to have a lot of energy. So I think just showing up every day, being able to play for Coach Dickert, and just having fun playing football.
I don't think most people realize the importance of being comfortable with your play caller, the communication, your history. You were at South Alabama with Coach Ezell. That has to be, because when I saw that you went to Wake Forest, I'm like, this guy might be a little bit of a glutton for a punishment, like get out of the state, go do something else, go away. You won't have to talk about Carolina if you went to like Arizona State or something.
Or maybe you want to run it back, like you want to take it out on some other people.
Could be that too. But for me, I was like,
I'm coming for you.
Just get out of here, go do something else. So I didn't realize the connection with Coach Ezell. So that has to make you just feel like, okay, at least I know what the heck's going on. Like we're talking the same language.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, guy. It was a little bit of times I was like, man, I just don't want to. I felt like I just want to get out the state, but no, I'm thankful for my time at UNC, but also just being able to play for Wake Forest and Coach Ezell, and honestly, the last 7 months with Coach Dickert, I'm super happy with my decision. I'm just super fired up to be able to play for them.
I mean, I'm really not trying to be a jerk, but it's like obvious that Coach Dickert is young and energetic and lively and full of life and energy and has a chip on his shoulder too.
Yeah,
like, there's nothing given at Wake Forest. Like you got to earn all your shit at Wake Forest.
Man. Yeah, you do.
You're learning that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We even with the workouts, like with Coach Ben, our strength coach, everything has to be earned. There's no freebies. There's no just getting through it. Like you got to work hard. And Coach Dickert's the same way. I think our staff does a really good job being on the same wavelength. Sometimes you miss that as a staff, but I feel like our staff all has the same energy and the same goal and the same standard. So I think just as a unit, we all operate the same way.
Different kind of pressure going to that situation where they had a surprise season where they win 9 games, they win the Mayo Bowl, they have a great ending to the year, right? And now it's like, well, do it again.
Yeah.
And you've got to go into this situation and kind of help them. A different schedule, different situation, but that's kind of a different challenge for you. How do you look forward to that?
I'm excited for it. We have really amazing players around us, and I think as a unit we're just a good team, a great team. So I think I'm excited for it, and I think the expectation. They talk about rat poison and all that. I think Coach Dickert. We always talk about being built in the dark. That past season, I wasn't there for that. I got to experience the other side of it.
You were in the dark.
But, our statement now is lights out. So, me coming in and being in the dark and staying in the dark, staying lights out. So I think that's my mentality. Is
updated to lights out. Yeah. I like that. I like that.
We were joking with your coach about that. It's like, dude, you win 9 games. You beat an SEC team in a bowl game. You get the Mayo bath. You're not in the dark anymore, man. Come on now. He's like, no, we turn it off. Like, we're back. But that's the kind of mentality you want. Man, it's
absolutely.
like Joe said, everything has to be earned here. What I'm curious about, we've been doing this for such a long time. We would always do some hand wringing over the implications of the portal, NIL, what would this mean, and things like that. But we always forget that you all you live this, you've known this, you're way more comfortable, I guess, with some of these the decisions you have to make in the offseason and whatnot. So when you go into the portal, when you decide when you're going to, what your future is going to be, what does that circle look like? Who's in that circle? Who's helping you make those decisions before you even start talking to coaches and things like that?
Of course, a lot of players these days, we have agents. I mean, I have an agent, a lot of those things. But I think for me, what the situationally was, I just kind of keep my family, my mom, my dad, people that have the best interest for me, and see what my agent thinks, and just kind of make a decision off of mindset and what can put me in the best situation. I think for me it was a lot easier. A lot of people get put in situations where they have a lot going on. I think for me going to Wake Forest was pretty simple. Going for Coach Ezell, it was a mindset, a mental decision, but also was an emotional decision. Just being able to play for Coach Ezell, that's someone I've known since I was 16 years old. So I mean, just being able to play for him was pretty easy. But then Coach Dickert kind of was like the ceiling on the on the paper. It was pretty easy for me. But I think everyone has a different mentality. But for me, just kind of keeping the people you trust around you, it makes everything easier. When you start bringing outside people that you don't really know really know how you feel, how you think, you start losing the thought process towards it.
So how do you disassociate then? You scroll on social media. You playing EA 27. Like what are you doing?
For me personally, I didn't have social media I deleted social media before even the TCU game. I didn't get social media.
Smart man.
Thankfully,
can you teach me how to do that?
Well, I deleted social media before the TCU game, and then I didn't actually get social media back until after spring ball at Wake. And the only reason I really got back on it was I was so tired of my teammates coming up to me like, "You don't follow me on Instagram." I'm like, guys, I don't have.
Now you sound like my partner over here. He's like, "Did you not see see my tweet? And I'm like, dude, I'm not scrolling all day.
My guys was calling me, they're like, you don't even follow me. I'm like, guys, it's not because of that. Like, I don't have it on my phone. So I genuinely went back on it to make sure I follow all my teammates. And then I just kind of have it now, but I'll delete it before the season.
Okay, good call. Good call.
How quickly did you pick up on in-state dynamics in your year at Carolina, and maybe how different they might be in Winston-Salem?
You know,
state, Carolina, dude, just seeing everybody.
Just kind of, it's different. I'm only an hour 20 from Chapel Hill. I feel like I'm in a whole different state. Like, this is very different energy, very different vibes, and I'm kind of learning that around the North Carolina area. I've been to 2 places now, but it's a great area. I love Winston-Salem. It feels really comfortable to me.
But there was nothing analogous to that at South Alabama, I guess is what I'm getting at. You didn't have, somebody around the corner that you were trying to beat their brains out.
Everybody keeps tabs on each other.
Everybody keeps tabs on everybody.
I think ours was Troy, but Troy's like 3.5 hours. Yeah. So you're not really that close to them. You had an in-state rival in Troy, but you weren't you couldn't throw a rock at them. It wasn't that close. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, teammate, you're most excited to get on the field with this upcoming season? But who's your security blanket right now?
Security blanket. I think we have amazing players all around. I really love our receiving core, receiver coach, our tight ends, our running backs. There's some guys to shout out. I'd say everybody, but Carlos Hernandez.
Now you're following him on Instagram too, right?
I follow him on Instagram too.
Good.
Carlos Hernandez, Cam Shanks, Jack Foley, Chase Tyler. All these guys are just great players, and all those guys.
He sounded like C.J. Bailey. He's like, I got too many weapons to throw to, man. I'm good to go.
Honestly, it just feels like I've never been so confident. Our guys 1 through 8 at wideout. We have so many great players that even if our threes in a sense come into the game, there's not really any worry there. They know the offense. They're explosive players and they're ready to make plays. It's really good.
Gio Lopez, quarterback, Wake Forest. All right, man. Good luck this season. We'll see you around.
Thank you.
My Deeks. Are they still your Deeks?
Yeah, man. He's fun.
He's great.
He's fun. What a personality, man.
It's good stuff. Big fan of talking with Jake Dickert, man. It's good stuff. Also big fan of talking with Manny Diaz as well. That was a great conversation. So you don't believe him?
No.
You don't believe him?
No. Maybe not him, but somebody on his staff. Again, when I asked him, when else did you run that play? Oh, never.
Okay.
Okay.
No, but it's in his bag of tricks. You always have it in the quiver.
Sure, man.
He's got a quiver full of tricks, Joe.
Sure.
He's out here like Legolas. You never know when it's going to happen.
Just so happen to run it against Bill Belichick, who made the play famous. Got it.
Here's what you can't believe. Great home coverage with Mosquito Authority and Pest Authority. Go to bugsbite.com and you will do this because you're going to save money. You're going to sign up for the total home protection. It covers the outside of your house with Mosquito Authority, inside of your house with Pest Authority, right down to termite traps and quarterly services and everything else. Yeah, they just came out, right?
The termite coverage pays for itself. That's really what this is about.
Yes.
And guess what? As a homeowner in Wayne County, you have to have termite protection and a termite inspection. So it's something you have to do anyway. You might as well not only save money on it, but also protect all the other things that they do from, you've said this for a long time, and I was kind of like, what are you talking about? But when you sit outside and you hang out outside, they come by once a month now as part of this protection plan. They spray the lawn and the trees and the surrounding area. It's like a whole process. Deal.
Yeah, dude.
And now when I go back, I'm cutting the lawn, or maybe I'm just hanging out or grilling.
You're not getting swarmed.
I am literally sitting there thinking I'm missing something because I'm the one who gets eaten alive. Bugs love me.
Interesting.
And I'm allergic to all of them. So it's like a real thing for me.
Interesting.
So this recent development has just been an amazing new experience for me. So this is my way of apologizing to you for kind of questioning this. Well, they did give you this treatment that keeps the bugs away.
I don't know why you question me sometimes.
I know.
I don't know why you do that.
You
only know, I
was
was going to say, it's like you fight me. You only know me for 20 plus years or whatever it is. You still fight me. I don't understand why.
I know. I'm still scarred by, and that was Jay Davis on an interception, and now it's Georgia Tech first and goal.
I never sounded like that in the old double wide in the sky. I'm sorry.
We'll be back after this.
You're making me sound like I had my ear up, my hand up to my ear, like, okay, there was a Donnybrook here at Carter Finley Stadium between Wake Forest and NC State. Phillip Rivers running like he's got flip-flops on.
You were just so loud. loud.
I had to project, Joe. Project. Okay.
Yeah, you were saying phones and radio equipment. It's a
totally
real
different beast, man. Anyway, go to bugsbite.com. I don't know where that was going. Big thanks to our friends at Bloom and Blinds. Check them out. 919-980-9815. In doing some radio chatter with some other folks here on Radio Row, like you've got the traveling skylights, right?
Yeah.
Like next year, we got to hit up Bloom and Blinds to do some sort of corporate synergy.
With this great courtyard here.
And I need Chris and Nico to come up with some sort of portable shade cover. Right?
With an OG Media logo.
Oh, that'd be amazing. I'm sure Chris I can do that. I can definitely do that.
So good.
So I think for next year's kickoff, since we'll be here, it'll be sunny in the middle of the afternoon. These skylights, we're going to have a portable shade. That's what it's all about. Thanks to our friends at Bloom and Blinds. Hit them up, 919-980-9815. We're kind of joking, but we're not. We've experienced this at restaurants, right?
Yes.
You're having a late lunch or like an early dinner in the summer, and the sun's coming right through that window with like no blinds whatsoever. You gotta hold the menu up to like just talk to somebody. Like if you're at a restaurant and you deal with those light issues, call Bloom and Blinds.
The place next to Hayes literally went out of business like a week after. I was like, I don't know why they don't have a shade here.
Because the sun's like right on your face.
Because there are no other market forces in the restaurant business.
No, that's not true.
How did they know that Hawaii was a place to go? I don't.
It's the sun's. The sun's the reason why.
Clearly,
the sun's the reason why.
How'd they know?
Who knew? All right, of course, big thanks to our friends at the Butcher's Market. You can check them out online at thebutchersmarkets.com. You can save time.
Speaking of grilling,
you can save time by getting the pre-made meals and whatnot. But yes, tailgate season's right around the corner. I know how you guys are. You're already thinking about your tailgate plans. That's why you look at the schedule.
Soon.
That's why you look at the schedule and the game times, everything else. What am I going to do? Is it a kegs and eggs type situation? Can I actually do like a brisket this time? All that kind of stuff. Butcher's Market has you. Everything you need, right down to the seasoning. Okay, down to the seasoning.
That's actually pretty key, to be perfectly honest with you.
Go to the Butcher's Markets. Again, that's thebutchersmarkets.com. Joining us at ACC Kickoff on the Heister Automotive Group microphone, Tosh Lupoi. He is the new head coach at Cal. You're retroactively an ACC legend now, right? You know how that works, right? Now that you're in the conference. What's the Pac-12?
Well, honored to be here, fired up, not only just to represent the ACC conference as well as the University of California, Berkeley. So I appreciate y'all having me.
Your goal is to get Cal back to when you were there, when you played, and when you were with Aaron Rodgers and the like. So what has that been? What has been like? I know the first story, you got the job, and I don't even think you showed up to like talk to presidents or whatnot. You got on a plane to go get your quarterback, right? You went to Hawaii like right after that, right?
Yep, that's accurate.
Okay. How'd that go?
Well, obviously it went pretty good.
It went pretty well. JKS is here. So
yeah. No, it was a wild ride at that time. You can imagine being afforded this job, coming over for your press conference, more so a day. I was very thankful. Cal did an incredible job of celebrating the moment, but more so for my queen, my wife Jordan, and our three amazing children, for the sacrifices that they embrace every day for me to do what I love to do and passionately pour into this profession that I'm obsessed with. So that's what the cool part was. I rearranged some things on the itinerary, and I wanted to speak to the team immediately. Very fortunate that worked out where I could, because that's when I learned that Jaron wasn't present at that meeting, and that's what led to handing my wife my bags immediately after, and saying we're going to change up some plans here, and immediately driving to the airport. So had no plan in place, nothing premeditated. Actually didn't have Jaron's number in my phone, and so thank goodness for a little Wi-Fi and some strong Cal connections on the island to coordinate some things, and then mainly for Jaron's awesome family, Settima, Tiki, his wonderful parents, Jaron himself, of allowing me to come in and express what the potential future is moving forward, our vision, and something that fortunately he wanted to be a part of, and to also challenge Jaron to ask him if this is something strong enough that he wanted to be a part of, that he could verbally recommit, if he was comfortable enough after those hours. I think it was right around 2:45 a.m. Hawaii time, and what we could do from that point on, as I was still coaching for another university.
You had another job
in the
still.
Playoffs,
Yeah.
That's right. So fortunate to do that. Put together the staff that we did. Sign a top portal class in the country, and really then begin that quest. Starting January 19th on Dr. King's birthday, from starting with a cultural meeting and moving into fundamentals and techniques, the schematics approach, to where we're at today, in mid-July of phase 4, what we call it, and attacking that process as we lead into this exciting season.
Is that mindset so as I was getting ready for this conversation, I know Cal put out a video. You were sitting down with Jared Goff, and he has like his phone, and he shows this Facebook message, back when Facebook messages were like this newfangled thing, right?
That's right.
And he's like, you were my first message on Facebook Messenger, right?
Yeah.
This is when you had come to Cal to be on staff with Tedford. So this just sounds like your MO. This is, like you say, obsessed with this. When did it start from the playing career to then transitioning over to this coaching thing? Was it just immediate?
Yeah, I never saw myself as a coach. I don't have one of those cool stories where when you were 10 years old or I wanted to play. I love this game. Played it as some of my absolute earliest memories. The millisecond I could make weight to play tackle football, I think I was 7. You were supposed to be 8, which I don't necessarily suggest to every parent. I've been a part of this amazing game ever since. So I wanted to play and I wanted to exhaust that. I was fortunate to be a part of that cultural change at the time at Cal in those early 2000 years when Jeff Tedford came aboard, and as you mentioned, we became a top 5 program, winning the conference, consistently winning double-digit games a season and competing at the highest level. And that's my perception of Cal football. The storied elite NFL tradition, in combination of elite academics. So no different to today. That's what we get to represent. And during that time, I broke my foot on 2 separate occasions, the same foot, and being fortunate to be a part of great teams, having great teammates, having some possibilities to extend my career beyond college football. That's when it occurred again. Erupted that same broke foot twice. At least that's my excuse why my NFL career was cut shy.
Yeah.
Then you're going through the realization at that time of what am I going to do in life? And fortunately at Cal, a lot of opportunities open immediately. Well, me being the knucklehead that I was, out of all the cool opportunities, commercial real estate, the startup companies, the Silicon Valley, the tech, everything
it's all there for you.
Cal represents. Yeah. What did I do? Take the lowest paying job, become a football coach, and immediately become a GA at Cal, of course, right?
Who doesn't do that? Right?
And so then at that time, it took about 24 hours where I knew what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. And, again, being a part of some really cool opportunities, both there at Cal, moving on, and being amongst a lot of high-level leaders. What's really cool is maintaining a lot of those special relationships now, 20-plus years later, and to be back at your alma mater and be in this position couldn't be more fortunate.
We, on the outside, don't really think of coaching as being competitive within the industry, right? But I got to imagine that's one thing you learned coaching for Nick Saban at Alabama, about everyone playing their part. The assistant coaches included, everybody, A to Z, has got to do their job. I'm curious, what was your number one takeaway from your time with Coach Saban?
Man, it's so difficult to say a number one takeaway. I mean, one, the consistency is what jumps out of many, extremely strong attributes and life-changing and coach-changing moments in those amazing 5 years with Coach Saban. As far as to answer your question, it became a point where I was going to compete every day to not screw up as much as someone next to me. And you
might get lit up a little bit,
being a part of that round table of I can just go right next to me from Mario Cristobal, Kirby Smart, Lane Kiffin, Billy Napier, Mike Loxley, Brent Key. I'm sure I neglected plenty of individuals that are around that.
We go
table.
another 20 minutes at this point if we were starting naming all these guys.
To come to work every day, it became a competition of, all right, I'm going to take every single note and of whether pads were supposed to be in your players' pants or what time we need to be, where we need to be. More importantly, the approach of how we construct a cut up and how we present, whether when I was the defensive coordinator for him as the defense or how a walkthrough is constructed as an assistant. Every detail, how we did everything is how we do everything. How we did anything is how we did everything, and that's the approach. So if you could compete at a high level and you just knew that somebody else wasn't going to write down that note, or they were going to get it rather than me. So it was an amazing experience, and taking some of that and moving on, and still using plenty of it to this day.
Are you prepared to be at Cal and not see Oregon State, Arizona State? It's got to be like a completely different. You're back in a place that you were, but it has to be a little bit weird to be like, hey, we're playing, Syracuse, or we're playing some of these random schools that just doesn't really quite fit with our concept of, the old Pac-12.
Yeah, I mean, I don't put a lot of stock into what's weird and what isn't really.
Okay.
So I mean, we got an opportunity, we got a job to do, go compete our butt off, represent our culture.
And you get to open at UCLA anyway, so.
That's right. And so, don't put a lot of stock into it. I mean, it's a unique experience, right? And Cal's unique. It's got a unique combination, again, of being the number one public institution in the country, representing a storied NFL tradition. And so I think it's really cool. Here we are in North Carolina. I'm gonna give you some quiz questions to you two.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So name arguably the greatest NFL coach that coached in the state of California.
In the state of California?
You want Bill Walsh, or you want the other guy?
Excuse me, in the state of North Carolina.
Oh, you're talking Ron Rivera.
All right. Where does he work?
He works with you.
Cal.
Okay. Name one of the absolute best high school players ever to come out of this state that played for the University of California, Berkeley.
Wait, no, now I'm drawing a blank.
There we go.
Now you got me.
The receiver?
How about
the Chargers receiver? Keenan Allen?
Keenan Allen.
Ah, okay.
Okay. Right. So I think when you go into every state, there's
got a connection.
There's that. You got a
cool connection, and that's when you're representing a place that has 691,000 living alumni, and what the national Cal brand represents. If there's ever a place that can go from state to state, because of whether it's the business connections, the founders of all these high level businesses, the coaches, the tradition, makes it a special place. And I think it makes, if there's ever a place that can be adaptable, right? So I get to represent the Atlantic Coast Conference, and outside my window you see the Pacific Ocean.
On that note, welcome to the ACC.
Yep.
Welcome back to Cal. Looking forward to seeing what you're doing here. And tell Ron his friends in North Carolina say hello.
All right, will do. Appreciate you guys.
All right, let's get out of here with some Hey Joe. Although, I enjoyed that conversation with Tosh. It was like story time. We're getting the full background.
Yeah, there's also some Bond villain,
I was thinking MMA fighter.
Yeah, but like the post-Cold War Bond villain, where it wasn't like...
I mean, did he tell you his entire plan for world domination?
Maybe.
No, Mr. Giglio, I expect you to die. Is that what happened?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean...
It's too. But I loved it. I mean, I think that's good for the ACC.
Cal, too,
I
right?
legitimately think that's good for the ACC. Hey, Joe, brought to you by Brassfield Accounting. Again, check them out online at brassfieldaccounting.com. Again, that's brassfieldaccounting.com. Big shouts to Scott. He's out at the beach, as one does in the summertime, rocking that OG light. The canning run is about a month away. Actually, early August, we have another canning run. And Joe, don't say it. Don't say it, Joe. But OG light cans and OG lime will be back in August, just in time for the start of the football season.
Going out of business now.
Until the next time.
Until we're back.
We never said that the beer was going away.
Oh, I did. Yeah,
It was just there were just canning runs and schedules, and you all bought it so much of it that's a good problem to have.
It really is.
So we ran out of stock. We'll run back because again, the way Bond Brothers works is that they have their canning schedule. So our next schedule is in August, and we'll be good to go. I'm excited about this. One other thing too about one other note from ACC Kickoff. I feel like I'll just pull up my own. I'll pull up my own post on Blue Sky here. Let me do this real quick. Let me shout out to Morgan Patrick. Let me do this, and this. As he would. That was how he would kill time.
Genuine sports pitch.
Morgan, and I say this respectfully. I say there's nothing but respect. Yeah. He was the king of vamping when things needed to be like, all right, let me set this up. Blah 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 blah. He would always go, let me do this, and this. So as I pointed out, our colleague. It's funny. Real quick. Now I'm gonna get on you. When you're like, we show up on Radio Row, and you're like, oh, these are my people now, and I'm like, well, I can flip that back, and I can point it out to Brett Friedlander. I mean, that man has ink stains, old newspaper ink stains from decades ago, showing up in his avocado shirts, and my Wi-Fi's not working. Those are your people, Joe. Okay, so I don't want to hear it. All right. I'm vibing with my guy from Nexstar over tiny 3 cameras. All right. We're just nerding out, man. We're talking tripods, roadcaster setups, and cameras, baby.
Me calling Jimbo a motherfucker was my highlight. And this guy, like he did not need any male enhancement products when he came and saw these cameras.
He was like, I love your setup. Like, I wish I could just put it all in a backpack. This is amazing.
Because they're launching the shuttle over there.
And what's a full-on TV station over there, man? And even that's still impressive what they're able to do in such a tiny space. Anyway, so Brett, apparently, he's upstairs. They got a bagel spread. He witnessed Bill Belichick reach into a box of bagels. He ripped the bagel in half, put that half back in the box, and then raw dogged the half he took without any cream cheese, butter, nothing. Which to me, witnessing that is peak ACC kickoff material. You cannot get this in the SEC. And Brett, because Brett is Brett, he's a dogged journalist, Joe. He went back up there to see if anybody's taken the other half. And it's still sitting in the box to the point where Brett's thinking about putting that in the Ziploc and putting it on eBay. Just a thought.
Okay.
Just a thought. So yes, Brett witnessed a very key Bill Belichick moment. I absolutely love that. And last item in Hey Joe, before we wrap up with what we learned in 3 days of ACC Kickoff, from Joseph on a YouTube comment. Joe and Joe have a job to do, and this is in relation to our interview with Jim Phillips yesterday. But yeah, it's a bit insulting to suggest that Jim is shepherding the league into some grand new era. I don't know why that was the takeaway from some of my opinions about where things are now with the ACC. I did not say that the ACC is about to witness the roaring 20s, okay? Like, that's not what I'm getting at. What my point is, the ACC specifically in the last 2 years easily could have folded, but moves were made to stay nimble, not be so rigid, work with the other schools. All right, what would work?
Yeah.
Okay. You want to sue us? All right, what can we do to get to some sort of agreement where, hey, we'll give you a window if you want. Not everybody does that. And we could still be boiling over with this, for lack of a better term, bullshit at another ACC kickoff and not be focused on football, which is the point of these things, right? And instead, this is where I commend the league and I commend Jim Phillips for getting the ACC to a point where this isn't the big distraction, that things do seem relatively calm, all things considered, outside of some weird one-off tiebreaker drama from last year that they had to fix. So it's not that I'm acting like the ACC is built for the next 50 years of a golden era. It's more along the lines of, hey, man, this could have gone off the rails real quick, and it didn't, and you're not embarrassing yourself like Brett Yormark in the Big 12 last week. Sometimes you have to take a step back and go, hey, man, things are pretty good, all things considered.
Well, to borrow a page from Steve Newmark, sometimes you have to solve the problems that are in front of you, but you also have to have your head up enough to see what's coming down the road.
Yeah.
Now, you have to give Jim Phillips credit for solving some of the problems that are in front of them. How they ultimately solve the problems that are coming down the road, we will see. We will see.
And that's getting back to that conversation with Steve Newmark. They don't know because we don't know.
Correct.
So we'll see how it plays out.
And that's a conversation than a longer conversation. I'll try to get myself in the right mindset, a more productive conversation. We're diametrically opposed to where Jim Phillips is on making the players employees.
Yes, we are.
And it's something that he's adamant about. I think I understand why, but I would like for him to explain it.
Mm-hmm.
And I would like just to be able to retort and have a conversation about it and how that's the true answer to the future of athletics and that these schools need to arrive at it. Because as Steve Newmark said, the market is currently completely and totally irrational and unsustainable.
Mm-hmm.
So collective bargaining is the only way to solve that. So
I think that's what we learned. Anything else that we learned?
I mean, Jimbo Fisher, that was an adventure I did not expect.
That was fun.
It was fun. It was a lot of good times.
We'll get Jimbo back on.
Dabo, some Alabama stories. I mean, he wasn't quite in the mood for some shenanigans the way that Jimbo was.
I mean, you got to remember too.
And I was a day early, by the way.
Yeah.
Did you see Paul Feinbaum motherfucking him today?
No.
Yeah. Oh, including the tweet like, well, he needs to shut up and he needs to like get over it and all this.
Who was saying this?
Paul Feinbaum about Dabo. And I'm sick and tired of him telling us how great he used to be. He's not great anymore. And I'm like, this is exactly what tell me, future boy. Like this was exactly what I was trying to ask him, that he's presented as this avatar of the old guard. And that, are you really the avatar? You're 57. You're not fucking 87.
Well, I mean, again, Feinbaum's still mad at Dabo for actually outclassing Alabama for a run there. So there is that aspect of it. He is a punching bag for Feinbaum. Although it's interesting you bring that up, and I'll close on this. As much as the ACC tries to play things right, they still can't control a news cycle. And you'll notice today...
That was weird today, wasn't it?
The savvy ones were out there on a Friday taking things back from the news cycle. We got Ross Dellinger dropping nuggets ahead of SEC Media Days about, self-governance. And if we don't get what we want from Congress, we had a plan B. I'm like, oh, that's conveniently timed. And then you're getting ready this morning to come on over to the Hilton. And who did you see on Get Up today, Joe?
I saw Notre Dame coach Marcus Freeman. Hey, we're not in the ACC. We don't have a conference day, but guess what? We're going to be on ESPN proper this morning.
I ain't the Notre Dame basketball coach. He has to go to these things. I don't.
Right.
So I'm going to go on Get Up.
Here you go. It even got the full on-3 treatment. Wait till I show it to you.
You got the graphic.
You're going to love it. Stuck on stupid.
Oh, geez. That's classic Feinbaum, man.
I'm getting so exasperated listening to Dabo tell us how great he used to be. They're not great anymore.
You know what? Props to Feinbaum. He still has his fastball. That's a fastball from Feinbaum. Anyway, that's going to wrap it up for ACC Kickoff. Thanks to everybody for listening. Thanks to everybody. Honestly, whether it's our colleagues, we got listeners in Charlotte who've seen us out and about, who've come up and said they appreciate the podcast, love what we do. We appreciate that. I have to do a better job of accepting compliments.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, thank you. I appreciate that. And if you like what you've heard so far this week, by all means, hit us with 5 stars on your favorite podcast app, leave a review, hype it up on YouTube. All those things help with the algorithm. And now that I'm done, I will get back to grinding out those reels because that is my life. Also, shout out to Dan. He's going to be getting a whole boatload of stuff this weekend. Anyway, that's going to wrap it up. We will see you on Monday. Anybody can podcast on a Monday, especially after the World Cup final. Let's go.